Greetings and welcome once again to Roman of the Empire. I am your host, Roman. And this week we are talking about our favorite 80s bands. The 80s was a magnificent decade for TV, movies, fashion, big hair, and most importantly, music. Whether you were a fan of rock, pop, punk, that newfangled hip hop, or many of the derivatives of metal, heavy metal, thrash metal, black metal, death metal, prog metal, new metal, doom metal, industrial metal, hair metal, goth metal, speed metal, coconut metal, metal stew, metal sandwich. I think that's all. There was no shortage of awesome music. And tonight we are going to scratch the surface with our favorite 80s bands. Welcome everyone to the show. I'm excited about this one. I was alive during the 80s, and that was a good time. There were a lot of drugs, a fair amount of sex, but it was a good time back in the 80s. I mean, more so than now. So with that, let's get this thing rolling. With me, as always, he is my partner on the channel. He is my wingman. He once stopped me from bombing Detroit because, you know, Rock City. He is Shieldwall of Dragons. Welcome back, my friend. How are you?
How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, the 80s was a wild time. You know, kind of like the intro to Tale of Two Cities. It was
wow.
It was the best of times.
It was the worst.
It was the drunkest of times. It was the highest of times.
There was a lot of stuff going on there.
You've never been to Vegas, Mando.
I have not actually.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a great stream. I didn't really actually hit like my liking music stride until really the 90s, though. So, but I've got some picks for this.
Wow.
But yeah, thanks for having me on.
We are live! Exclamation point! Post. Okay. You know, you got to squeeze the things out there. Oh, he's back! He's back. Jacob Ironside. Hey. He's in. He's out. He's in. He's out. He's been attacked by raccoons many times, even before.
He's like Al Pacino.
That's right.
Just what I thought was your little tiny hands brought me back in. He is the scourge of Gotham, the nemesis of the Dark Knight. He is Joker voice. Welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I am quite wonderful, as this counts as work release from Arkham, and I am so glad to have a new guest here who is also a member of the Scissor family.
Scissors! The whole middle row! The whole middle row is scissors!
Toe, right? So, that's what that was, folks. Never gonna stop. Should have kept him locked up. Well, it's good to have you back. It's good to have you back, my friend.
I know.
Oh God. For a brief time, his beard was part of the death metal band Morbid Angel, but his beard was just too intense. He is Beard of Liberty. Welcome back, my friend.
Oh, hello, and thank you for having me. That was a little too much for Joker. You need to take 5 minutes. I forget that's your love language.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I love music. I'm a drummer. these are mostly for show, they're not for play. But yeah, I do play music. But you see, born in '83, didn't really get into '80s music too much later in my life. Kind of grew up in a insulated religious bubble. And that's not a knock against my parents. They've adapted and kind of changed, and I think they look back at kind of some of the things they did and they wish they'd done differently. I imagine that's how all parents are. But so I think my picks are probably going to be a little bit very definitely mainstream, but I'm looking forward to see what everybody else brings to the table.
Right on. I think we're going to have an expand today. Oddly enough, though, I do have a picture of your first band, which is a little weird. I didn't expect this. I believe it's called Beard and the Weirdos.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I play bass, drums, and guitar. So which one am I doing? Am I like lead singer? Like which one? I really love my hair in that photo, by the way.
It does look
good. It's 80s. You play the synthesizer.
Yeah, the synthesizer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, so far down in the picture means you're the bassist, right?
Or you play.
Hey.
Or you play the
the bass is the heartbeat of the band. You know, the forgotten member of the band.
I am also a bassist. I play bass most often, so.
Nice.
Granted, my very first person to teach me to play bass, they said, here's a bass. A monkey can learn how to play bass. You'll be fine.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes for most of us.
All right.
Lord. He is the drunk poet whose music is so powerful it killed Irene. Welcome, first time on the show, our good friend Dempsey. Welcome. It's exciting. I finally actually get to interact with you. Normally we are on the other side of each other's chat, so this is exciting. I'm so happy you are here.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited about this. I actually put in a pretty good amount of work into this one, and I have some notes to give you about your thumbnail. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it when we get into it. I had actually sent you an article to help back up my position as well. But it is music-based from the 80s, so we'll get into that when we get into it. Thanks for having me on. It's great to finally talk to you guys. I haven't talked to some of you guys. I talked to you two before, so it's nice to meet all of you finally in person, and yeah.
I just got to point out that you're very optimistic about teaching Roman something new.
Yeah.
I think it's more like I don't have anybody else to tell this argument to.
I'm in.
Okay.
She will tell you if this is the way. Books, games, or movies, she is armored up and ready to fight. She is Untamed Mando. Welcome back to the show. Despite your best instincts, you have again returned with us. How are you, Mando?
I am doing all right. So I might have some odd picks because I grew up.
The Ghost in the Darkness is not 80s music.
How did you know that was your favorite soundtrack?
What if it was?
And right now, Mando just wants to do this.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, because my mom was a child of the 70s, and so mostly when I would stay with her, it was a lot of 70s stuff. But they also did a lot of stuff in the 80s. Some of the bands were also 80s bands. So if you want to get technical, we can get technical.
No, well, it's funny. So for those watching, the only parameters I really put out for this, it's pretty loose. You'll find that surprising coming from the show, was that the band really just needs to be relevant in the 80s. A lot of the bands that we're going to talk about had their start in the 70s, but then you know them from the 80s, though. That's just, you're in a band for a minute, you finally get your fucking legs, and then people know who the fuck you are. So, but even bands that had carryover from I won't keep talking about it because
Tangent alert.
Yes, I'll stop myself right the fuck now. He is the red-headed giant in the land of the rising sun. He is the Jinja Ninja, our good friend James Harris. Welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Doing great, man. Thanks for I thought you were going to say redheaded stepchild there for a second.
No, this is not a Disney production. So
yeah, thanks for having me on here, man. I was born in '78, so the
God, I'm
'80s.
old.
I was able to
Jesus.
enjoy a lot of that. What, Joker? Did I? You thought I was younger, right?
I thought we were right around the same. I'm 7 years older.
You're 7 years older than me?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought you were younger than me. Wow,
But,
there we go.
But
guys, it's 80. Answer like in the 80s. I say way when someone says no way. It's the 80s.
but
Way.
Can you comb your beard though?
I can. Yes. And sometimes it comes me.
Yeah, he wants it right now. The stimulus is worn off.
Are you going to though?
Thing that I'm just not aware of.
Hey, it's Roman's stream. Anything could happen.
Okay,
It's
thank
true.
you.
It's true.
Oh.
Yeah, so looking forward to talking about some great music, possibly the greatest decade of music that could be out there. But when I grew up, record players, 8 tracks, stuff like that. So
8 tracks. Wow.
yeah, 8 tracks. You're talking 70s there.
Yeah. So looking forward to see what you guys.
I was gonna say I had one, but then I had to. There's that's right.
Right.
Yeah,
it was holding.
I had a lot of older relatives, like cousins and stuff, that had them.
Yeah. We had it in the car. Remember those?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'm
We
sure
just
your
had
guys'
a
musical
AM
prowess is going to be completely blows me out of the water. And Dempsey, what are you doing taking notes? What are you trying to do to us here?
I feel
doing?
very intimidated right now. I feel attacked. I feel like my channel is under attack now. I don't know.
I'm gonna make a video about it.
This is actually.
Oh my
This
god.
is actually.
All right.
Sorry. We'll get to the show. Thanks again, man.
My God. He
I'm
is
excited.
the man who knows all the things about all the things. Matt
Other way,
Talica,
Dempsey.
that
Other
shouldn't
way,
be the
other way,
unbearable
Dempsey.
73.
Oh,
What
I
happened?
got mirrored.
What happened?
There you go.
I'm mirrored.
What?
He pointed the wrong direction. It's fine, Roman. It's fine. You don't
Roman,
need to
you're
have an
fine.
Do
Roman,
aneurysm.
that
Roman,
to me,
you're-
guys.
Roman, you're
You know
fine.
it doesn't take much to just throw me
I had
into
my
a
mirror.
complete spiral.
Japan has gone offline. That's why.
God help us all. Matt, how are you doing?
Doing very well, gentlemen. Well, this flashback to our youth, or in Mando's case, our very early childhood.
I was born in 92.
Wow. Your
Jesus
negative
Christ.
sperm
To her egg phase.
Your inverse age.
But I was raised on good music. I can say my mom was a psychopath, but she had good taste in music.
I wasn't.
No, I didn't have that. She was a prostitute, I think. It doesn't matter. It's unimportant. It was a terrible time. Cannoli walking across the floor is I think my favorite part of that. I'm gonna try to pull it up.
Why does his head fit so well on Al?
It
Oh,
does.
God.
It's really impressive.
Oh wow.
And the fact,
No, I got it.
and you know how we know we're old? Because I know that's Al.
You know
Right.
that's Al. Yeah, you recognize that body
The first
immediately.
Al.
I'll try to play a little bit more of that video later. I'm gonna have to pull it up in a different
Oh,
format.
that's
because
right,
I'm gonna
Matt.
just play straight
That
through.
is the first Al. Yeah,
First
that's
Al.
how old
Oh,
that is.
that's
Italian Al,
hilarious.
not Japanese Al. Yeah.
Oh god, that was
what
awesome.
what was his name? From Karate Kid.
Pat Morita.
Pat. Yeah.
Bonita.
Yeah, Arnold.
Noriyaga, Pat
Arnold.
Morita,
Arnold.
something like that. Yeah. Noriyaga.
So anyway, let's say hi to the chat real fast, and then we can dive into this hot mess. R2, thank you for that video. We're gonna try to play some more of that. Always coming through with the fun videos. Gooch! It's our good friend Jay over at
God.
Diabolical Souls. Good to see you out there.
Mando.
The Lord of the Vine Vegetable,
I
the
kid
Gourd
you
King.
not, this clipboard is older than you. I used to do this with this kid who joined my Wild Guild all time in Reggie. I have this that's older than you. I just looked at it. I was like, well, this clipboard I've had. I bought it in high school in 1987.
To be fair, this shirt I think is actually older than Mando as well. So it's fine. It's fine.
And
I
this
think my
folder,
underwear.
I bought
my
when
underwear's
you were born.
older
It's even just due to
than
technology
Mando.
in 91 or 92. It's like
It's not my fault. My mom had me late in life. Okay. My cousins are all like 10 years older than me. I was like the baby of them all, but I hung out with my older cousins. So
Well, actually, at this point, 10 years older is still really freaking young. Tom's Tinkering and Adventures is also with us. Our good friend Tom. Ducka. Zax, I hope you are feeling better, Zax. Zax with the triple pneumonia in Canada. Good God, man. But he still did a show last night.
Triple pneummonia?
He powered through last night, though. It was impressive to watch.
He used to drink like a whole jar of honey or something.
Mrs. R2,
she is awesome. That's right.
Welcome.
Got to meet her in person.
No little Spidey. This is not appropriate material for little Spidey. Ducka. And I think Courtney threw this up early. Actually, I don't think Courtney's with us anymore. Not like ultimately, but right now. But Courtney knows her music. I like Courtney. Hopefully she'll pop in here. And that is everyone out there right now. What?
Wasn't Courtney in a band?
I don't know. Do you know who she was with? I mean,
I remember I was on a stream and we were talking about, like, in general, not to me and her, but there was like 7 people on or whatever. And she was talking about working with someone. I don't remember who, though. A long time. It was like a year ago. So.
I can't remember.
It ain't that long ago in the bigger scheme of things, but.
Holy crap. Apparently
I'm okay. Well, we will go because this is going to be a pretty just open conversation. But let's start with our newest guest, and that will be our good friend Dempsey. So, he's starting. Our man.
Yes,
is starting.
Yes,
the blank slate shall become the art soon.
I think it's going to be pretty obvious once I start the sketch I'm going to be doing. But
is it a dragon? It's a dragon, isn't it?
Dempsey, go ahead and start us off here with one of your picks or where you want to go with this, and then we'll all go around the horn. Everybody's going to have something. So,
well, I have.
What do you got?
I have some notes about your wallpaper that you had here, your thumbnail. It is that scene from Stranger Things where he's up on top and he's playing Master of Puppets, and I'm telling you, he played the wrong song. For multiple reasons, and I can give you a couple here. Like the Stranger Things season 4. I even gave you an article that shows it. It happens in March of '86, and the song "Master of Puppets" didn't come out until July or May of that year, actually. So
that's really inside knowledge there, Dempsey.
Even if there wasn't enough time to pass during the season. For him to have heard the song and learned how to play it on guitar, it just becomes super unlikely because he was in hiding the whole time. Like, he was accused of murder and out hiding in a boathouse somewhere. Didn't have his guitar with him, I don't think.
Wait, are you saying
maybe he did because he had it in the end. Who knows? But unless he sat there night and day learning that song, he couldn't have played that song. And I'm going to say that Seek and Destroy would be better thematically anyway. Because the literal
absolutely.
The lyrics scanning the scene in the city tonight is literally what they're doing. They're in his place looking around for him so that they can start a fight, and that's the song lyrics right there. And then there's an evil feeling in our brains. Seriously, come on, could that be more Vecna? Really? And then running on our way, hiding is literally what Eddie's arc was in the show. About how he always ran from everything. And even at the end, Eddie ended up running away at the end, and it directly caused him to die because he ran. So they literally should have done this other song. They should have done Seek and Destroy. That's the song that they should have done. Which brings me along to, it's a nice segue for my pick, which is
that made me so hot.
Hey, real quick, why do you think they picked that song?
Because it sounds cool.
The brothers, when they wrote the episode, they wrote it based around that song.
Right.
Okay.
And it came out right around that same time. So it would have been maybe possible for it to have been, but they didn't play Metallica on the radio in Indiana in the early.
I don't think the Duffer Brothers cared about that when they're writing episodes.
Right. So there's no way that this dude in Indiana could have possibly known about that. It's just not a thing. Yeah. But yeah, Metallica would be my pick.
I love Metallica. What's your favorite Metallica album?
My favorite Metallica album is probably Injustice for All. That's literally the album that got me to listening to music and wanting to play as much as I did, because One came on. They made a video for One, and it was on MTV, and I heard it, and that was how I got to them.
That was a lot of people's first introduction to Metallica.
Yeah, that was their first video they ever put out, so it was a big deal for them at that point. And it was so huge, and it had all the imagery from the movie involved with the lyrics of the song, and it was just a very cinematic and all-encompassing kind of just this energy around it, and it really drew me to it. And the drums in that really is what made me want to become a drummer, which is what started my musical journey. So rhythm section, for real,
nice.
Yeah,
I think
so. That's my number one.
Was it going to let me bring this up? Oh, yes, nice.
Well, people often ask what, when they see the thing that that should not be next to my name means when you see me in chat, on people's chats.
Right.
So, when I was a kid, like early 80s, was a lot of hard rock and stuff like that. But in the mid 80s, I heard a Metallica song called "The Thing That Should Not Be," and that was off of the Master of Puppets, right? And that
Great
song
album.
is about. Basically it's about H.P. Lovecraft's work, called Cthulhu and whatnot, and that got me into H.P. Lovecraft, which is one of my favorite authors. And from there on, I was a Metallica fan. And now, before you all knew what the internet was, only us techies knew what the internet was in the 80s. We had to come up with these really shortened handles, right? And I was the Tad, and when they let me have longer, I was the Tad that should not be. If you could always find old Usenets or whatever, you'll see that me, like in old comments or whatever. That's been my online persona for 30 plus years now, 40 years, whatever the 80s were ago, 35 years ago, I guess. Yeah. So Metallica has been they were my favorite band for like 30 years until I heard Winter Sun. So this album was obviously written after Cliff Burton had passed away.
Right.
There was a lot of anger about that when they composed this album.
Especially with the mix
they did when they delivered.
They fucked Jason over on this mix.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
It wasn't so much they would have done it to any bassist that came in.
Well, it's still, but it's the bassless mix.
Right.
Yeah, I mean there is you can get the tapes according to Lars and James. They're actually based on all these songs. They just downed it like a lot.
Yeah, he had it dialed down to fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Why there's Injustice for Jason.
Yeah.
Right.
Harvester of Sorrows.
Great song.
That's my favorite song for that. Well, I'm trying to remember the whole album now. What's right before Harvester? I used to be able to tell you every Metallica like in order and do all the lyrics, but that's long since passed. But you can only remember. Sometimes your brain runs out of stuff, but that's such a
right.
Like that. I think of that as a traditional album for Metallica. Like before that, maybe it was Cliff's writing influence. They had a lot more storytelling with a lot of their songs.
Right.
And after that, it was more emotional driven music,
right.
Which I guess was James came to dominate the way the songs were written.
Right.
Where, if you like all Metallica storytelling songs were during what we call the Cliff era, whether like For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Well, there was the Mustaine era too.
Yeah. Well, Dave left early, but he
kill them all.
Yeah. Right. But I'm saying like what the songs were about on the first three albums, two or three, especially the second and third one, they were about stories, whether they're from Lovecraft or from the Bible or from other things related to that. And after that, when James became the dominant songwriter, they were all about emotional turmoil and stuff like that.
Right.
After that, yeah,
right.
And this album was the transitional one,
Yep. Yeah, it really led the way for the Black Album to come out, and then they became like a pop metal band.
Yeah, it's funny. I like the Black Album. It gets a bad. I don't know. Maybe because it pushed them so far into the public realm.
is another good one.
Of Wolf and Man is my favorite song.
Oh,
on that.
Wolf and Man is
Yeah,
a
that's my
great
favorite song on
song.
that album.
Yes.
Shape
Right there.
Shifts.
Yeah.
back to the
That's a great song.
But yeah, everything after that, when they went into Load, oh man,
Oh God.
If they had just
Ugh.
good thing.
taken the best songs off of both albums and put one album out, it would have been a lot more well received.
Right.
Because they're like,
I can't even
Nothing
listen
to
to
me is
Saint
an
Anger.
all-time classic song. It's the theme of like the last 20 years. It's King Nothing, how the world has become. You know, all driven by advertising and like, what do you have? You have nothing. We don't own anything anymore. We rent stuff. We look at all the
You
people
own
that
nothing
score
to be
about
happy.
Funimation now with they have their Kings of Nothing with anime. You know, it's like
Streaming.
yeah. So
It's true. He's not wrong. But what do you guys think about their snare on Saint Anger?
Oh fuck,
If-
Saint Anger.
if you are
I can't even.
that album, if you experience mental illness, it means a lot more to you. I just need to say that.
Apparently, alcoholism doesn't influence your viewing of it. Other than I didn't like
No,
it.
no,
I fucking hated
that
that.
album was like every song on that album, because I've had mental illness all my life. I could hear what James was saying in every single song, and musically, you know, it's kind of wanders around. It's like it's a weird kind of cross with some of the early stuff with like this. It's another in between album. You know what I mean? Like it got you to where they are now with the last two albums,
Right.
but it's kind of like every musician who goes through a lot of heavy shit has to have one of those venting albums. That's what I think of Saint Anger is. You know.
Yeah, I mean, their albums, their pre albums, you know, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, Injustice, and the Black Album. That was that block from
The
what was it? What was their zone? From 81 to the end of the 80s. That's what they gave us. And then you started. Then after the Black Album, we moved into that.
Well, they went to the artsy phase where they wanted to experiment.
Right.
And
yeah.
I think it was Rick Rubin who told them, like on the previous album, this one, guys, you go back, you can still play the original music and say something with it. That's an actual quote, you know. And the last two albums have been pretty good. Not as good, nothing as good as the early ones, but you know.
Fuel
No,
was,
they were. I think, you know, probably. We look at the metal bands of the era, and there were a lot of metal bands of the era, and this is, you know, that's
many.
just a whole
Too
very
many.
wide category. But they were probably the biggest crossover band of that era
Yeah.
for people that like metal, like Metallica, and regular people like Metallica, because you could, as soon as you start leaving the safety of Metallica, you start getting into a really heavy area that a lot of regular people don't like. And like I said, when I was naming off all those categories of metal starting the show, it wasn't a joke until the end. All those are categories of metal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking subgenres. It's just like rock. Rock has a lot of subgenres as well.
For those who remember something, this is funny. In the early 90s, when MTV used to be all about rock and metal, right? And they started to move away from that, trying to cater to a different audience, you know. But then when the Black Album and Use Your Illusions 1 and 2 came out, Guns N' Roses and Metallica dominated every fan chart on Style MTV. The top 6 songs were Guns N' Roses and Metallica songs, and nothing they could do could stop it. They would say, we're gonna reset the polls this week, just in case, and then Metallica number 1 again, number 2 again, you know.
Could Be Mine on repeat over and
Oh
over.
God, yeah, you know.
Yeah, and for me, the Black Album was kind of my intro to Metallica. Now I like,
Oh my God.
damn it,
Well, I
Classic,
was the same too.
no. Now I like my favorite Metallica album is Ride the Lightning. That's easily the one that I like best.
Yeah, my favorite songs on there. Yeah, my favorite song from Metallica.
And what was your favorite again?
Fade to Black.
Fade to Black. I see. I like
great
Under Ice,
song.
and
I want
Creeping
that
Death
song.
is another personal favorite. I love Creeping Death.
So that song there. When I lived in SoCal, the local rock station was called KNAC 105.5, and they were going through a station transition, and they had James and Lars were on earlier because they were going to switch at noon. So James and Lars were like, this is so fucked up. And they said, wait, can we say that on the air, and
I know.
and the DJ was like, "We're off the air in 2 hours, dude. Say whatever the fuck you want." So their very last song was "Fade to Black," and I'm like, "Oh, that is just the perfect song to end on." And then you get this like KNAC 105.5 is now signing off. Pure Rock.
Wow.
Pure Rock would like to thank its fans for the last 9 years. 105.5 KNAC Pure Rock is signing
That's
off.
crazy.
2 seconds of static, and then it's "Hola, bienvenidos," and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
And
I
that,
was in
album,
class too, in college.
that album,
When that
Rise of Lightning, has the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest instrumental of all time. Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, that's fucking phenomenal. And I have everything through Black Album and then on vinyl. And then I have to jump forward a great deal to Hardwired, which I like a lot. Then I made the mistake of buying and I don't even remember the fucking name of it, but whatever the last one is. 82 Sessions.
72 Seasons.
72 Seasons, whatever. It's fine. It's fucking background metal though. That's what I think. It's like, fuck, I bought this and now I'm hating myself for it. But Hardwired I thought was a really solid album, but there'd been a pretty good gap between Hardwired and the last one. So, but I understand that the final album, because we're talking about 80s music, but whatever, it reaches over, was one of the few times they had actually written in modern era organically. They'd all written together as opposed to just fucking James and Lars throwing the fucking songs at the band.
Yeah.
But I guess sometimes it works and sometimes it should just be James and Lars throwing songs at the band. Despite that, I fucking hate Lars. I'm going to say that openly. I don't hate him as a drummer. I think he's a great drummer. I just fucking hate him as a person.
No, he's not.
I think he's real fucking.
Danny Carey.
I don't like
Carey's a great
Danny,
drummer.
yes, Tool.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Carter Beauford. Terry Bozzio.
Joey.
But-
Or just in.
So and
Lars
so
is a
James, I know you're working,
Yeah.
and I don't actually let's see what you got down there. I can see that you've already
Flash early.
oh
Gee,
nice.
I wonder where we're going with this.
I have
He
no
is in
idea.
an era.
George Michael.
So you're saying it's not a
I
track.
guess it would be nice.
Well, if
Not
I
a
have
dragon.
time, I'd like to get 2 done.
That's a good song.
My
It is a good
second,
song.
I was debating on whether to do this or this, so I might do this later.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
oh. Why?
I just recently saw a commercial with him in it.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he's still rocking it. Eh?
Yeah, it was.
He's still out
It was
there.
like I
He's
can't
still
remember
playing.
car insurance or something.
Nice.
All right, so James, do you have something you want to throw on the
Yes,
table here
yeah.
for
Uh,
a band?
Yeah, well, okay. So for me, it kind of it's related to Metallica in the sense that one of the former members made his own band that was kind of like my introduction into the whole metal scene. I'm talking about Megadeth, of course. I remember it was I just moved. My dad, he was always constantly changing jobs, and we would move from North Carolina to Indiana back and forth. And it was kind of funny. Every time I would move back from North Carolina to Indiana, like my music scene would change. And I remember moving back to Indiana, and I was really into hip hop at the time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's right. There's great stuff out there. I'm a connoisseur of many kinds of music. And then I went over to my friend's house, Jason Gray. I remember it. And he's like, we're sitting there listening to, what were we listening to? I think we were listening to some Tribe Called Quest. And of course, I kind of got back into the 80s music after, in the 80s, I was listening to Michael Jackson and all that kind of stuff. And then as I got older, I started getting into, the rock scene and everything. And he's like, hey, have you ever heard of these guys? And he puts the music on. I'm like, I'm not really into rock, right? And he puts it on. I'm like, holy cow, what is this? And it was, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the name? Appetite for, no. Sorry. Yeah, Appetite for Destruction, right? And listened to that over and over and over and over again. And then that took me into another group that I don't know if you want me to talk about them now. I mean, I can if you want me to. Well, and they started in the 80s, so I guess they're relevant, and that would be Faith No More.
I'm a big Faith No More fan.
Huge Faith No More fan.
Awesome.
They would actually be they're my number one. Actually, Megadeth is just like my intro to the 80s, into the whole rock scene. But
Pantera's number one.
Oh, yeah. Have I seen them live? I want to. No, I didn't see them live. I saw Motor. Who did I see? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. But yeah, just so the strange thing was.
I never saw Faith No More, but I saw Mr. Bungle. Does that count?
Oh, yep. So, yeah, I've seen Mr. Bungle twice.
Oh my God,
twice.
Mr. Bungle.
Yeah,
my fucking drummer loves Mr. Bungle so much.
I'm going to see Mr. Bungle this month in Osaka. Dude, you have to listen to the latest album, Roman. I'm not kidding you. It is
no. I am as apt to listen to Mr. Bungle as I am to watch Saltburn. It's not
okay. No. Their latest
album.
Their latest album is nothing like anything else. What they did is they took the stuff they did in high school and they redid it, and it's just like hardcore from beginning to end. It is nonstop, just amazing. Trust me, you won't regret it. Just give it a chance. Trust me.
I've regretted every other time I've listened to Mr. Bungle, so I don't know why this would be different.
No, because my friend, he's a DJ up in Fukuoka, and I spent the night at his house. We went out for a DJ party, and then the next morning, recovered from a horrible hangover, and he's like, "Hey, dude, have you listened to the latest Mr. Bungle album?" I'm like, what? They released a new album? And this was like a couple years ago. And he's like, hold it. He's got like all records. He's the record guy. His house is full of records. So he pops it on, and it starts off really slow. And I'm like, okay. And then it just hits, and it's just nonstop from there to the end of the freaking album. It is insane. But back to
the cover. That this is the one that everybody, the first one that you'll see if you go. Oh God, fuck off. Sorry,
but
yes. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. It's just crazy stuff. But no, back to Mr. Who are we talking about? I'm all over the place.
Well, you started with Faith No More, then you delved into the
I went for Megadeth, back to Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, and I'm all over the place. But no, Faith No More, when they had their the original singer, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I've got it all here. I'm horrible with names.
Mosley.
Mosley, yes. I really like We Care a Lot, that album, and that's something I found afterwards.
Yeah,
and that's a really, and I just listened to it before the stream. That's a really fun album. And I was listening to Megadeth, Rust in Peace.
Rust in Peace.
Yes, that's freaking awesome, man. The research for this stream was actually, even though I didn't take notes, research for this stream was really fun. Yeah. So
and I want to apologize to our the folks watching, because one of the sad things about YouTube, doing a music stream, talking music, is we can't actually listen to music because we will immediately get a copyright strike. I mean, I can play Dempsey, I can play my band, and I think that's about it. And then we're going to get copyrighted.
I guess you could put some links in the chat if you wanted to, if people are really interested in, like, the album or whatever.
I think even Dan Vasks gets copyrights for some of the covers he does
on his own shit. Well, what I understand, it doesn't. I was going to go on a whole thing about. Anyway, so we get to talk about things that I can show pictures, but that's about the extent of music on YouTube without getting the fucking punch in the face.
So the last thing about Megadeth, because whenever I believe I was in junior high school and I was listening to it, I would actually go to sleep at night listening to Megadeth in my headphones, and that would put me to sleep. It was so good. Yeah. Wow. So that's what got me back into the whole the rock scene. Yeah.
Megadeth probably has my favorite music video of all time, "Sweating Bullets."
Yeah.
I just watched that just a second ago. It's so good.
Hello, me. It's me again. All right, Misfits way of life.
And he's a ginger, so hey, that gives him extra cool points.
Well, do you remember when MTV, I don't know if it was what led into their music news or whatever, but the riff that they play is Megadeth.
Oh, it is? I did not know that.
Is it,
That's
is that
Peace
Cells? Yeah, okay, that's what I
I
thought.
did not know that.
Peace out.
Hopefully, I don't get copyright struck for my poor bass rendering with my mouth.
It was perfect.
Hey, here's a question. So, do you prefer the Four Horsemen or Mechanics? It's basically the same song. One of them's Metallica, one of them's Megadeth.
Okay, I would have to. Okay, I'm not as big a Metallica fan as everybody here. I like Metallica. I love Metallica, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. I have to be honest. I have to give them a listen to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would suggest checking them out. It's actually pretty cool. Four Horsemen is just like Mechanics at halftime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give it a listen to.
Not everyone knows this, but if you listen to the music, dude, Dave Mustaine is a fluent French singer and speaker.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's
Le Truth of Demand or whatever it was.
I know he's got anger issues, but I didn't know he was also.
He
fuck?
punched James in the face. Yeah.
And Mike Patton as well is very he can Italian. He's actually fluent in a couple languages, I believe. He has a whole concert where he does like this Italian music.
Well,
and
he's a fucking
I
weirdo
say-
as well.
I say
I love him, but
this
he's a
for a
fucking
reason.
weirdo.
He is weird.
No, but I mean, this is actual inside musical knowledge. Dave Mustaine can speak, read, and write and sing French as if he was a native French speaker. There's a trick singers use to sing in other languages. They have a phonetic alphabet. Like you'll hear singers who sing in 7 different languages. They only can speak one of them, but they learn to score the song in that singer's alphabet. And they can sing, so there's a trick to that. Opera singers know it especially because they have to sing all those languages.
Well, if you could send me the way to do it in English, I would appreciate it.
Learn Latin first.
The alphabet breaks, like even though we have different languages, we're all using the same sounds in different ways. So this is the logic behind this singer's alphabet that I was reading about. So they break it down to all the base sounds you use. So when then the singer would then take the song and say, instead of the language, what sound is here, what sound is here, what sound is here. And they read the singer's language alphabet rather than say the native language and still get the music out. You know,
very cool.
If I do snippets of video from YouTube, are they
don't play the audio.
Just with the audio off. Even though it's
that's
YouTube,
the number one thing that'll get you dinged is 5 seconds of audio. It's the number one thing.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just trying to figure out ways to make this more visually interesting, other than looking at us, which I know is lovely. People enjoy that, but when we're talking about the stuff, as opposed to showing stills, it's a bit more difficult.
Yeah, we could use AI to turn us all into supermodel babes. So.
Could we sing over it?
I think you play 5 seconds before you get a strike. Yeah, the funny thing is, Mr. E. Clay Thompson, and welcome to the show. It doesn't matter. They will fucking hit you whatever whim is in the air.
Because it's a computer. It's not a person doing it.
2 seconds you get
an AI doing it now. You know.
Yep. And whatever you do, don't play anything Japanese.
Oh, that's another band that I wanted to talk about as well.
They hate me so
I'll
much.
Later.
What is it? No, let's move. Let's see. Mando. Oh no, okay, Joker, you raised your hand. And I do like your Joy Division shirt. So
right. So my little costume change. Even though this is not the band that I'm going to reference, this was a big part of another musical movement in the 80s, that was new wave. Now you had your little pop stuff that you got on the radio, but there was a second British invasion, and you got bands like Joy Division, Echo, and the Bunnymen. But the one that for me is kind of the most important of all of them is the Cure. I think the Cure is one of the greatest bands that's ever.
Yeah, they're a good band.
I mean, they are probably in my top 5 bands of all time. If it was not for Cure and if it was not for the Cure and Depeche Mode, I would not have gotten through high school.
I thought you were going to say Depeche Mode for a second. Yeah,
I would not have gotten through high school. So. Oh, Erasure! I love Erasure. Ooh,
I am not a fan of Erasure. That's I
loved Erasure.
I like the Cure. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of the Cure. I like God, fuck off. Fuck off. Heavy fuck
Mother
off.
Dick.
You guys are fine.
Mother Dick.
Sorry. Just fighting a little bit with the computer.
Beard. Beard.
When
Oh,
I-
God damn. Now, there's a brush there now? God damn it, Beard. Oh.
Sorry, I forgot.
Oh my God, check this out. That's funny.
Yes.
I finally actually get some decent pictures here. I had that hair in the 80s when I was younger. When I had
You guys remember South Park?
But did you have that eyeshadow shade?
No, I didn't.
Wow, that's
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you brought up Joy Division. Just want to talk about that briefly.
Right.
I think with Joy Division was really important, and they're not a band that a lot of people know. I think everybody knows who The Cure is. Without Joy Division, you don't have The Cure. But without Joy Division, you don't have a lot of people. Because you hear their influence. I mean, even moving as far forward to 9 Inch Nails, you hear the influence of what Joy Division did back then. And they were only around for like that fucking long before Curtis fucking ended it.
Yeah.
It's sad, very tragic.
Very sad.
Story. If you ever watch the movie Control, it's about Joy Division. You know, and it's about their early days, which was pretty much their only days. They didn't last very long because the singer unfortunately ended his own life. But it's funny because without lasting that long as a band, they made such a fucking impact on what music would become. It's an incredible story. Moving to The Cure, though, I was introduced to The Cure on the song "Killing an Arab." That was That's what
album was a great album. Yeah. That album
standing on the beach.
Yeah. That was a great album. And that's where I got introduced to the song "Boys." "Boys Don't Cry." Yeah.
Famous Mouse.
I'm getting an echo. I think
Yeah,
maybe
so
I
much.
might have shared the screen. It might have goofed up.
That usually happens with the sharing the tab thing.
Are they even supposed to? Here, I'm going to pull it off for a sec. I know, fucking Roman.
So
that goes gone now.
But then I'm not going to share audio. Okay.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
all right. So, share screen, don't share audio. Fuck audio.
But Roman, you're right. That without this band here, you don't get The Cure, you don't get Depeche Mode, you don't get a Echo and the Bunnymen, you don't get Sisters of Mercy, you don't get you don't get Our House.
Yep.
So
and you don't get the soundtrack for Weird Science.
Right. And probably my favorite Cure song, not surprisingly, it comes from one of my favorite films, and the song is called and the song is "Burn." From the Crow.
Yeah,
from the Crow. I was going to mention that.
Yeah, that is such
a
song. Fucking amazing song.
It's an amazing soundtrack too.
Yes, it is.
It's like one of the best out there. Yeah, so good.
So
good choices.
Thank you.
Well, there's a whole bunch of bands like Joy Division that were like in the 70s, early 80s. Diamond Head, Merciful Fate, all these sort of foundational, influential bands that everyone says is their influences, years later, that a lot of modern fans are like, hear them, like they'll hear like Diamond Head and say, oh, they sound like Metallica. No, Metallica sounds like them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, or you'll hear like Merciful Fate and say, oh, they sound like a so-and-so black metal. But no, it's like a whole thing where, people forget these sort of foundational acts that are the beginning of something. And when they go back and listen to Jimi Hendrix, who was like the origin of all this hard rock and metal and stuff. And
Sabbath.
Yeah. Well, Sabbath literally formed. There's an interview you can find with us where they got together in the late 70s and they were like, well, they were jamming for a while. And like, we're going to pick a sound. And so let's go out to a club and drink and talk about our sound. And I heard this dude playing on the stage, and they were like, we're going to play like him. And it was Jimi Hendrix.
Oh.
That's how Sabbath got their sound. They were like, we're going to play like Jimi Hendrix, literally. It's like,
Bands like Venom and stuff like that, too.
Oh, Venom, yeah.
Yeah, those pioneers, they really cut the path for everybody to come behind them. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
And now we have Lizzo.
Oh,
Fuck off! Oh my god!
Thanks, Jinja. Thanks. Jinja.
Somebody
We're
had to do
having
it.
such a
All
good
right,
time.
that's
Why
it.
would you
That's
do
it
this
for
to-
him.
Uh,
Oh my god. All right, so let's jump
Wow,
over
the
to
cards.
you. real
the
fast.
cards. Wow.
Oh,
Huh.
yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Gary,
So-
Gary,
because
what's his
it's
face?
we've got a spot.
Rick.
If you want to
Rick.
hop in, I'll throw you a link if you want to jump in.
Rick,
Oh no.
basic.
Oh,
Why the long face?
I know Rick O'Casey has a very bizarrely shaped head. It's unnatural.
But a really hot wife.
You know, it's the musicians. It just happens. Because he's not an attractive man. He is just I can say that objectively without any of the the gay stuff. He's not an attractive man. I mean, or with the gay stuff, whatever. That's fine too. But he's not good looking. Hang on, I'm throwing Squeak out.
A link.
Oh Lord.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, where's my mouse link? Mando, who would you like to talk about, Mando?
So I know it's Jacob already mentioned it, and I kind of spoiled my top, and I get it. He's probably not the best artist of the 80s, but like special place in my heart for Phil Collins.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Phil
Yeah.
Collins.
Phil Collins is great. Yeah.
Drummers of all time.
in the area.
I actually have my tattoo that I have actually it's from the Tarzan movie, but it was in honor of my grandma, who I was really close to when she passed away, and the lyrics "You'll be in my heart always" from the Tarzan movie. That's what I've got tattooed just as a reminder of her. So yeah, he's always been
that
one
is
of my
so
favorites.
That is so sweet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
throw up now.
You're talking
Yeah.
the Disney Tarzan, right?
yes,
Yeah.
the Disney Tarzan, I know.
Chris
Well,
Farley
I
has
don't
a-
know.
Wait,
Wait,
There's like 3 or
was
4
he
of them out
in the Ghost in the Darkness?
I don't think so.
So,
If he was, I didn't hear him over the screaming of the lions.
no, Phil Collins was fucking everywhere in the 80s. You couldn't turn on the radio without hearing a
Or
Phil
the
Collins
TV.
song.
Didn't he
The
have some songs that were on Miami Vice?
He was
Yes.
on
So-
Miami Vice.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
But yeah, just for sure Phil Collins, and then it's kind of like a tie between what was it? Chicago and Poison. Like I go back and forth.
That's quite a range there. That's
Yeah,
quite a range.
I listen to
What the
all
fuck,
music.
Mando?
I listen
Whoa.
to
We were
all
okay.
music.
I was okay with Phil Collins. We were fine when we were in Phil Collins territory, and then we deviated. First, you went to Chicago.
My mom had all of Chicago's albums. all of
Don't
them.
Yeah,
blame your
my-
mother.
so
Don't
nice.
blame your mom
Chicago's
for
good.
this. I fucking hate you.
Mando, I'm on your
so
side.
much.
I'm
I just can't stand. I fucking hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
But yeah, Squeak has got the
will
right
fight
take right there.
For your honor.
Fuck Boston.
I'll be the
I like
hero.
Boston.
Oh, what a great- yeah.
More than a
Dream
feeling.
of-
He's-
Although I don't
one of
know
the
if she
reasons I'm
means
here in
the
Japan.
band or the city.
Oh, city
No,
wise, yeah.
the-
Fuck Boston. Boston's a terrible city.
But yeah,
Where is the?
it was just one of those things that was constantly in my house growing up. So like Chicago is there because and then I like Poison because every rose has its thorns. That was my
Oh,
favorite
right.
song of theirs, and Mama
well,
Mia has a thing.
Motley Crue, the Home Sweet Home.
I've got
All
an
crap
interesting
people get
story about
Poison.
Poison.
Way better
whenever-
song.
They did an era where they became an acoustic like rock band, and
Yeah.
all their songs sound pretty good. It's like in the 2000s. They went on tour playing like all their songs as acoustic rock, and they're actually pretty good when they're that way and when they're not dressed up like
Right.
chicks and screaming. You know.
Right. The tights too.
God damn it.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
also
Span-
9 Inch Nails. Like I said, I have a very
Hey, 9 Inch
wide
Nails is
range.
Yeah.
old original 9 Inch Nails or newer 9 Inch Nails?
Old.
Wait, when did 9 Inch Nails form? They probably formed.
I
in
think
the 80s,
87.
Yeah, they didn't hit big till the early 90s.
Downward
Yeah, 'cause I don't. Yeah, 'cause I don't remember them until
They didn't
the early
hit.
90s.
They really didn't hit. They really didn't hit the the cultural zeitgeist
That's
until
like
like
the 90s.
until like a head like a hole. That was their first.
Yeah.
Yes,
big
that
hit.
was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first time I ever
Pretty
heard
Hate
of
Machine.
him.
That was the
Yeah.
Great Machine, yeah.
Oh,
That's a good.
so
That's a really
back
good
to-
album. But
Back to Phil
You're good.
Collins. Oh, sorry.
yes,
I was just going to say that the first music video I remember, which just kind of like traumatized me, was "The Land of Confusion."
Oh,
remember when
that
all
was
them running around?
that was Genesis.
Weird.
Now that was
Oh god, that's
that was
hilarious.
Genesis with
What's-
it's so it's
Michael
funny though.
McDonald?
So one, yes, the puppet video. Let me see if I can if I can find that just so I can
Yeah,
share.
Genesis, right? Yeah.
Well, that's like the difference between
Yeah,
Sabbath
this
and
is-
Ozzy, though.
Right.
You know? I mean, there's,
And if you mention Nine Inch Nails, you have to mention Prince because that's who Trent Reznor's prime influence was Prince.
hmm
yeah, Prince was a
I
badass.
would never get
Prince
that.
was amazing.
I think
yeah,
didn't Prince
just
he
so
was
talented.
he was a prolific songwriter, right? And he wrote
Yes.
a lot of songs that
And he
other
played
people used.
he plays like every instrument.
those
He's one
fucking
of those
weird
guys who can play,
puppets.
like, every
Very
instrument.
disturbing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
didn't he write Manic Monday? That the
Yes,
Bengals?
Bengals.
yeah, the
Yeah.
No
Bengals
way.
used that song.
Yeah, the Bengals, man. I had a crush on that little one.
Oh,
There's a
still do.
ball.
Is that a
Still
hog?
do.
Is that a hog?
Everybody had a
I
crush
had a
on,
crush
on,
on
the
that
lead,
little
on
one.
the lead
I
singer.
had a crush on
lady.
that little
Okay,
one.
okay. I am not gonna lie. I can
Nice.
Wow,
can-
dude.
attribute my love for you ladies that when you do the smoky eye, the makeup, all the way back to Suzanne the Hoff.
Yeah.
From walking.
I've
like
never
from-
been able
from-
to master it, so I don't try because it looks like I become a raccoon.
just watch the video. Just watch the video. Walk like an Egyptian and
Yes.
look at and watch Susanna's eyes, and it's just, oh
Yes.
wow.
Yeah. Beauty.
Agreed.
Hang
Those
on.
ladies were quite in the heart, so to speak, when you were a young lad.
They were in more than just.
Hard on. Hearts and
PG
hard
for
on.
Roman show. No, PG for Roman show possible.
Right?
Wait, what happened?
Her and
Wait,
Phoebe
what?
Cates, right?
Oh,
fuck.
oh, oh.
You know, I do like it when Roman
Dempsey,
gets
yes.
distracted and we can get away with basically anything for about 15 to 30 seconds.
Right?
That's great. That's nice. All right, so here's
Boosh.
oh the Spock music video. Andy Pickle. Yes, I know what you're talking about. That was the song "Hey Len"
Walk like an
from
Egyptian.
the Bangles.
Yeah, everybody was doing that for
No, for
Or
about
like
2 seconds.
2 or 3
That
years.
song went over big.
But yeah,
That
Walking
is
like
not
a
off.
in my bed, man.
Once we get to Suzanne,
It was literally like the other members of the band were invisible.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
No, they were.
Wait, there
all
was other
quite-
people in the band.
Yeah, and then like 2 of them were like super tall, or they were taller than
Yeah.
her.
Well, everyone was so taller than her.
Well, and you had the all-girl bands of the '80s. I mean, you had the Bangles, you had the Go-Go's.
Mhm.
Love the Go-Go's. Love the Go-Go's.
Dude.
You know what?
Well,
My
then-
wife is a big fan of the Go-Go's. I am a big
Carlisle,
fan of
come on now.
neither. I like the Bangles. I think better than the Go-Go's, though. Just as far as
Was
song
Tiffany
for
Carlisle?
song.
Was that the Go-Go's? Tiffany Carlisle?
Mhm.
That's Belinda
Yep.
Carlisle.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Belinda
Oh,
Carlisle.
Belinda
Also had a
Carlisle.
very
Nice,
successful
sorry.
solo career.
Was that I Think We're Alone Now cover? Was
Yeah.
80s or was that early 90s?
That was Tiffany.
That was
dude.
80s.
That was
Fuck.
Tiffany.
Yes, that's
Which-
from. You know what?
Little
Which,
boy.
did you see the Umbrella Academy?
Which
I did
Which
not.
true story? Tiffany's grandmother lives in lived in Norwalk, California. Lived across the street from my dad's mom. We used to play together as little kids.
Oh, that's
No
awesome.
way.
Hell yeah.
You and Tiffany.
Me.
No, you
So-
and Tiffany. No, you see, you were friends with
Sitting in
small
a tree.
with little Tiffany.
Yes.
KISS.
So,
Let's
I-
see if I can bring up. This is
I wish, but
the
I'm
last
still
name is
waiting
Darwin.
to see.
That's interesting. I did
I'm
not know
still waiting to see an image of. I'm still waiting to see an image of Suzanne the Hoff here. I'm still waiting here.
Oh,
Because
I'm sorry.
to a-
Fuck.
She
You've been
came
teasing
to
me
a
the whole
Tiffany
time.
came to a
That was some
ball
good
in
feather right
Tucson,
there, though, man. Come on.
and it was packed. Like it was crazy in there. She came and
Would.
did like a little, because that was before she was real famous. I think she was like traveling
Right.
around trying to
She
build
did
up
the
her
mall tour.
thing.
In
Yeah,
Baltimore,
just kind of
yes.
like I saw Mandy Moore doing something like that randomly somewhere too in Phoenix, Arizona.
I don't know who that is.
Suzanne
Oh,
Hoff.
Remember her?
I think we lost
Joker's
Joker.
dead.
Joker fainted. Joker fainted.
Yeah.
all except
Earth
one
the
part of him
Joker!
just
All
went
the
nuts.
ball left his brain and went
Scissors!
somewhere else.
There's
There's
Joker.
scissors. Scissors, return to us.
Oh. Oh.
The power of scissors compel you.
That's exactly.
The power of scissors compel you. The power of scissors compel you.
That's the way
Wait,
it
he's
was
gone
back then,
again.
folks.
Wait a second.
Well, the thing is that she looked good, but also the music was decent.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't, they just
Yeah,
weren't
I
like-
mean,
I think we killed him.
well, sorry we killed Joker. I mean, it was no Irene incident, but still. So
Come on,
let's.
Irene.
his hat was off. Do you see his hat?
Oh, we didn't kill him. He just had enough respect for us to go out of frame to do
Oh,
what he needed
God.
to do.
Lord. All right, so let's move around a little bit. So Matt, what do
I
you
moved
got?
around.
So I was debating, like,
Up and down, up and down. Sorry.
because the 80s were weird for me. Like the early 80s were all my aunt and my mom, like classic rock and funk music, and I'm probably only 10 year listening to Canned Heat, for example. You would have heard of, if you
I didn't
And
hear
then, like-
about all that till I was much older.
well, then the mid 80s when I told you before, like I found Metallica and metal and all that, and I was always into I was always into folk music and stuff. So I'm like, who could I pick for this? People, I don't want to go ultra obscure like you said. I could pick like, so and so
Right.
band no one ever heard of or whatever. I'm gonna go Blue Oyster Cult as my first band.
Oh, yeah.
Good one.
And
Yeah.
there's
Good one.
one reason to mention them this year.
Who?
They're coming out with their
I'm sorry.
final studio album.
Who?
The Blue
Blue
Oyster
Oyster
Cult.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh, Blue Oyster Cult. I'm sorry. I made up a completely different band name in my head, so that's good.
The Blue Oyster Blar.
Yeah. So Blue Oyster Cult. I
It's a whole
talked about
different
this
There
thing.
last
goes
week on my
Tokyo,
last
so
stream.
goes Godzilla.
Yeah. Well, that's one
Woo.
awesome song. They
Man,
their
you
last,
cannot get their best of for fucking less than like $150.
well,
for
the
an
album they're putting out this year is gonna be they're redoing a bunch of like
Oh,
rare
fuck
B sides plus a couple original stuff. It's their last ever
Fuck
studio
off,
album.
Amazon. Go
Um,
fuck yourself. Okay, sorry.
Obviously, I mean, they're most famous, obviously, for the "Need More Cowbell" skit. Obvious,
Cowbell.
Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, Don't
Yes.
Fear the Reaper. The album "Fire of Unknown Origins" was awesome. Cities on Flame of Rock and Roll. I can hear that thing in my head every time This Ain't the Summer of Love. Career of Evil. Then they also have Blue Oyster Cult. Here's a trivia for you. If you ever go look at a list of their members, like there's their main guys, there's a couple four members,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah,
a list of
Buck
about
Dharma
600
and-
dudes who perform with the band.
Yep.
And all those names, half of them are pseudonyms. Like Eric Clapton was with them for a while under a pseudonym. The author Michael Moorcock, the Elric Saga, if you don't know.
Oh,
with the
I'm reading
band.
that right now.
That's why they had
I'm
this
reading-
like Black Blade.
Holy shit.
I didn't know that.
That's interesting. I didn't know he played as well.
Yeah, he all those pseudonyms for guys in Blue Oyster Cult. When you see the list of all the other guys in the band, they're pseudonyms for other people who are like more famous, right? So, again, they have a lot of their songs are very like story stuff like this. My favorite music is story-based music, right?
Oh yeah.
Where they're telling you a
Okay, yes.
story. I'm okay with emotional-based music, and I'm with abstract stuff, right? But I love when you hear a story in a song. And Blue Oyster Cult had a lot of stuff drawn from some science fiction and fantasy, and also even their more emotional songs were about stories about the emotion, not about just feeling the emotion, So that's why they stuck with me for decades. Like some of the bands, I loved back then, I don't like as much anymore. You know what I mean? I still listen
Right.
to them. Like I'm a big fan of early Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, the Motown, right? But I don't go listen to Michael Jackson all the time anymore. Just because his early stuff is, you know what I mean. But I'll listen to Blue Oyster Cult today. I'll listen to Metallica today. And their songs are just. I'm trying how to describe it, and it's not that they're the most talented musicians in the universe, but they're one of the best bands to put everything they got together and leave it in the song and the live performance and whatever, So.
Well, they were one of those artists that was genre defining, not the other way around.
Yeah, they're an influence on people. You'll see people say, "Oh, who are your influences?" Blue Oyster Cult's a lot of people's influences. Technically, they formed in the very late '60s under another band's name. Then you get the early '70s with a more classical lineup, right? With Don Roser, who was Buck in the band, Eric Bloom. I'm not sure how many. Some of them are dead now. I gotta try to remember the whole bit. But then they had a hiatus, I think, because they had a hiatus, I think, in the '90s, and then a lot of older bands got back together in the 2000s and started. Like, remember I mentioned Poison doing that acoustic metal rock thing, and a lot of older bands in the 2000s said, "Wait, we can make money touring and just play." Like Def Leppard tried that. First, they tried to make pop music and failed. Then they went back to playing Def Leppard songs on tour or whatever, So they got back together, but they kept making some new music, and they kept their sort of original, like, I guess. They knew what they could play. They played it, and they did it well.
I've got this one. Let me see if I can bring it up here and not have things get fucked up on me. On Your Feet or On Your Knees live.
On Your Feet or On
This
Your
is a really fucking cool album.
Like, for those of you who read Michael Moorcock's Elric songs, there's a character named Moonglum who is Elric's best friend, and they have a song called Moonglum. And if you go listen to it, it means more obviously you read the books. He's one of the most tragic characters because essentially he has to die to save the universe, and he knows it, right? But he's going to die in a way that loses his soul, and he does it anyway because it saves his best friend's life. He doesn't die to save dude; he dies to save his best friend's life. You know what I mean? And that's what it's such a sad song, but I'll drop a link to it in the chat. This way people can hear it. And it's hard to get because it was only recorded on a live album, and it never been played. They never re-recorded it on any other album.
Nice, Blue Oyster. That's a good choice. I love them. I actually got to see them back in 2012. Now they were old as fuck. I think Buck Dharma was the only one left on stage. It was them. Who else was it? Not Sex Panther.
Steel Panther.
No. The Magic Carpet Ride. Help me.
Aladdin?
No,
not fucking Aladdin, man. No, not fucking Aladdin.
The band from the '60s, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they did Magic Carpet Ride and
I just did that to
Steppenwolf.
Not Grand Funk Railroad.
yeah, Steppenwolf. That's it.
Steppenwolf. So you got Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult, so they're calling them Blue Oyster Cult, and then Steppenwolf. But again, it's basically just the fucking singer for Steppenwolf, and they wheel them out on stage. They perform. It was still fun, and we were all really drunk, so it worked out. But good to see the old band still making the rounds.
I remember that my dad had that vinyl Steppenwolf Monster, and it was crazy looking. And it was one of the ones that opened up, and it had one piece of art on both sides that came together. It was amazing.
Yeah, the gatefold. I love and hate the gatefold. It's nice because you do get the art. It sucks because it eats up a lot more fucking space.
Right.
So my collection is quite expansive, and the gatefold is my enemy. But like I said, I do like the art. And that
right.
For those listening, Steppenwolf's most famous song is "Born to Be Wild."
Right.
Yes, featured in a lot of different things. I mean, probably most notably in Easy Rider, for back in the day.
The best "Born to Be Wild" cover ever is Ozzy Osbourne and Miss Piggy on the Muppet Show.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
It's things like that that are going to bring the situation to a head.
Yes.
More fucking Muppets.
And I Miss Piggy.
Oh, dear God. All right. Before I kick Matt off the show, Beard, which one of the ones you want to talk about? Beard?
You're muted.
Yeah, muted.
You're
Beard, are you there?
muted.
I don't have nearly as much background information as everybody else does, so feel free to just jump in and add because I don't have too much. But given their Texas, specifically Houston, kind of close to where I am, origin and the Beards, I have to go with ZZ Top.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they were. It's fun. I loved ZZ Top. Interesting thing though. Who was I watching? It was Steve Dace on the Blaze, but they were talking. It was kind of like those weird things you think you know, but are actually incorrect. It's like the song "Sharp Dressed Man." We all think was top 40, but it wasn't. You just heard it a lot, and it was all over the place. But it never broke through.
It was on
one of those
MTV
weird
all the
fucking
time.
things. All the fucking time. ZZ Top was a cool band though, and it's interesting because they had a lot of really good blues and country influence, bringing that to the rock, which is what made them ZZ Top.
Right.
Yeah, there was a video on YouTube a couple years ago. I think the full interview is gone. I don't know. You might be able to find it. There are clips out there of Billy Gibbons sitting down with Kid Rock and one of Kid Rock's buddies that had a YouTube channel where he just basically interviewed famous musicians. And listening to him tell stories about his grandmother or his grandparents and his parents taking him around to the music scene in old Houston, and then the two of them just deciding to jam. Like Billy Gibbons just pulls out a guitar, starts to riff, and then Kid Rock starts singing along, and just watching this guy just. It's fantastic. If I can find it, I'll find some way to link it to y'all because it's a fantastic interview. But this man's still just going. He's like, what, 74, 75? And
This band is probably the longest lineup with the original members of any band. Like over 50 years until the one dude died a couple of years ago.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that till today.
The drummer, right?
Yeah. Bassist. The bassist
was
was the guy that died. That was Dusty Hill.
I remember the video for Legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every good dude in the 80s
Yes.
video.
Yeah, they were like the kings of MTV for a long time. Now they had that basic formula type video, but it was fine. You didn't mind. It's like Robert Palmer in the day had a very formula type video, but it was still a lot of fun to watch.
Did somebody say AC/DC? Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
So no, I mean, but they basically just kind of took on this over-the-top persona of just guys trying to get other guys laid, and you know what? It worked for their music and for their videos,
and IRL too. It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys were great, man. My dad listened to them all the time, so I didn't even have to like fight for radio time to get them on. He would just put them on.
Oh yeah, and even if it's not one of their main hits that everybody knows, you know when they come on, the sound, you just immediately recognize it. Even if you haven't heard the song before, you're like, oh, that's a ZZ Top song that I haven't heard before for some reason.
Yeah, it's like blues with distortion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be disappointed in it either.
Oh, that looks so good.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, there you go.
No, you don't need to stop working. In fact, don't stop working. Don't stop working.
Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Believing.
Oh my God, that is fucking beautiful, man.
Thanks, dude.
Wow. No, and it's funny. My wife adopted this game, and I forget where she got it from. Anytime a Journey song comes on, you punch your spouse in the arm and say Steve Perry. I don't know where it came from, but it doesn't matter where we are. That's happening. We've almost gotten into several car accidents. The people at Target look at us, but yeah, it's a thing. So fucking ZZ Top.
I won't answer that question, R2. It's
sorry.
You have to let the mystery hang.
I'm so fucking retarded. I can't even believe that I exist. It's fine.
Don't be so hard on yourself, man. You're good.
The chicken ranch.
Oh no, I'm far from good. I haven't been good since the late 80s, in fact.
Well, I mean,
here we are on
under your keyboard, right?
Spiders.
So
Yes.
What is this?
The
Oh, this is just
Eliminator.
art. Eliminator.
Yes.
That was the album though. Eliminator was the fucking album that every male in the 80s knew. It almost didn't matter what genre you were into. You fucking knew that album.
Well,
I mean, they were already, they weren't unknown. They were big. They had
Right.
They had Lagrange.
Here, let me pull
obviously
up
is one of the classics. But Eliminator, when that hit, that's just kind of like their defining. All right, this is it.
Didn't they already
This is
have
what everyone
success in
will
the
remember.
'70s though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
They've been around for a minute.
Yeah, but Eliminator kind of catapulted things further than I think people expected.
Yeah.
Where is I wanted to pull up their disc.
Hey, Jenna.
What's up?
Jenna!
What's up, Jenna?
Here we go.
Jenna Banana.
So they got a
Yes.
fuck ton of album, actually.
Cheap sunglasses.
Is it going to let me open this up, or are you going to make me do it? I can't. There's so many albums here.
He's gonna make you do it.
So we start back in. Are these in any kind of fucking order? That would be fucking awesome.
I'm not in charge of this, Roman, so I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's just
Okay.
all over the fucking place. So like 1971 here. Yeah, first album.
I was
1971.
They had 6 albums in the 70s.
Wow.
They have a greatest hits, and that's probably the one. If you're not familiar with all their shit, that's the one to go with. And that's the way I like to work. Actually, I get the best of, and then the songs that I love, I will buy the individual albums branched off from that.
That's a good way.
It's a weird way to work backwards, but it does work well.
Especially when you're
Where's the
coming
fuck
late
going
into the
with-
game and you're trying to find out, you go like
Here it
for
is.
me, I think like some of us other here on the panel, you didn't get interested in this kind of music until way after it was gone. They had passed by.
Mhm.
So you got to kind of, find it again, and do the best of is a good way to do that. Definitely.
Well, I think for a lot of people, it might have been access to, like, if it didn't come on the radio stations that you normally listen to, you
Right.
didn't even know
Yeah.
about it.
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
you
and
didn't
That's
have
Right.
the disposable income to go out and buy the album or the tape or the CD later on. So you might have been interested in it, but you didn't really get into it till you had
Right.
the money
Right.
to actually invest in it.
Yeah, the 80s were
yes,
hard times
tush.
financially.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not like you were rolling in dough when you were 14.
Right.
well,
True.
true.
No.
Well, and you had you're right. You had 3 different medias that were all predominant. You had vinyl, which was still around in the 80s. It hadn't disappeared. That didn't happen until the 90s, really. And then you had tapes, which were I think probably the primary media.
Right.
And then
Correct.
CDs came out towards the mid to the end of the 80s. They really moved in, but they were more expensive, so that's why people were buying tapes. But that's not fucking
Mixtapes,
important.
baby. Mixtapes, baby.
A
Oh
mixtape was
yes.
the mixtape was the king.
That's right.
Yeah, and you
High-
had to
high
wait
fidelity.
for the song to come on the radio so that you could hit
Yes.
record.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened to Matt?
Exactly.
We lost Matt. Oh,
He'll be
He
back
said
in
he'd be right
minutes.
back. He in
Oh,
the
okay.
private chat. Yeah,
he has no icon. He's just a white square or a white circle.
He's
That's
freaking me out.
racist.
Freaking me out.
He's
I
a
can't
nipple.
work like this.
He's a nipple.
Okay, Shieldwall. What do you got, buddy?
Me? Okay. Well, I had a whole bunch. But I'm gonna go kind of a little. So I've got a bunch of rock ones and all the cool ones. But for me, I didn't discover this until a little bit later in the 80s, almost into the 90s. Was Sade, the Diamond
Ooh.
Life
Oh,
album?
Sade. Okay.
Yeah,
the-
with
the
Smooth
radio.
Operator
Right.
and Your Love Is King. And
You know what? Big Bang Theory wrecked that song for me because every time Stewart was going to go back and do his girlfriend while he was living with Wolowitz, they would turn that song on the room. So that's all I ever think of if I ever hear that song now.
really,
Well, the fact that you were watching Big Bang Theory kind of speaks volumes there.
No, I had it's so. There's a whole story. My daughter watches like 4 shows, and Big Bang
Can't
Theory. is
explain
one
it
of
now.
them.
Sorry.
It's the least offensive. It's either Big Bang or Blues fucking Clues, and I hate that fucking dog so much.
Hey.
So
Cool, man. You got to give it up.
so Sade.
Yeah, so-
You love fuck that sound. Fuck it so much.
When I was a kid, I used to be able to
Blue
perfect.
motherfucker.
I used to be able to perfect it.
In our handy dandy notebook.
Notebook.
Right.
I've
Handy
never
dandy
watched
cyanide
any of that
capsule.
show ever.
Um,
So I
they
don't
had
know what
the
you're talking
lovely Sade.
Yes. So but I heard it, right?
Hi,
And then of
Shanna.
course there was a lot of play on MTV, but I really didn't actually get into her music until way later. Like I was on deployments and stuff, and I
Right.
needed to like chill out while we're going to work or come back from work. And then I just got her CD and I started listening to it, and it was
This wasn't
great.
your special time music, was it? Because I don't want to make
No.
this weird.
No. I'm talking like we're riding in like the back of the launch truck or something.
That was the Bengals.
You know. But yeah, but it's technically well done. Her voice is amazing. The music is
Yeah,
good.
she's probably not someone a lot of people are familiar with. You know, if you're not being from that area,
I remember Sunday.
era.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, she had some albums in the '90s as well that
Well,
hit pretty big.
Yeah, let me get her Wicca. Who's it?
So
That
it was
way we can
because
see
of
a
like
little bit more about.
so with Sade in like the early 90s and stuff. You know, the female singer. That's when I started kind of the female lead, and I'm like, okay, cool. Then you get a group like a singing group like En Vogue. Come on, they were
In Vogue. Yes.
I don't know what an En Vogue is.
Oh,
And those women stole my heart.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Yes.
What?
Oh, wow.
What is James doing? Is that James? Stop it.
That's me singing In Vogue. Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Hey,
But
In
we
Vogue
can,
is
but
great. Amazing.
but we can change.
Here's
we
the
can
song.
change
Here,
from-
okay.
Right.
But we
So
can change from. Okay, sorry.
I was gonna say her first album is Diamond Life that came out in '84, and that's when I saw her. And it was big. But all these albums are actually bangers. They're really good. At least they'll have one song that's good on them.
Right.
Thank God.
A lot of artists would say with that many albums.
The Love Deluxe that came out in '92, yeah,
Yes.
that one's pretty good.
And I'm gonna be. I know Smooth Operator, and that's the only one I know. I'm sorry.
Well, and that's but it's because that's one of
R2.
her more famous songs.
R2.
Oh no! What did R2 do?
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Down with the swirl, man. Yeah.
Oh my God!
But yeah, so anyway, it was her
Her and Aaliyah.
yeah that I really liked.
Mhm.
Also, my other pick was
Mhm.
Motorhead, and especially I like the song Ace of Spades off of their,
Which Lemmy hates. Lemmy hated that song.
Hated. I mean, but yeah.
yeah.
Really? Probably because was it just the overplay?
Yeah.
People yell at
Probably,
it.
Because, I
yeah.
mean, like Nirvana hated playing Teen Spirit at a certain point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is, and I'm gonna, as a musician, and obviously not of notoriety, but when they're paying to come see you, play the fucking song for them. That's what they want to. That's what they want to hear. And I know your segment. Like we were talking about Faith No More.
Yeah.
So
Epic.
the
Epic. Yeah.
they fucking hated that album because they were on tour for like 2 fucking years with that, because they started the tour and then the fucking song hit.
Yeah.
That's when it hit the airways. And then it was like starting all over again
Right.
with playing the fucking album again.
Yeah,
and
but the thing
again
is,
and again.
That's
not
on
even
the
my favorite
band.
song.
Like if you don't want to get stuck with that, then be a band like the Beatles or Metallica or U2 or whoever, who have so many
Fuck-
songs the
fuck
audience doesn't
U2.
care what they
Well,
play.
Well, granted, but Nirvana didn't have a lot of material at that point. You had Bleach and you had fucking the one with the naked kid on it.
Never mind. Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind. Yeah.
And you know, yes, they're around for a bit before, but a lot of your earlier material isn't worth playing on stage because we've all been there. Your early stuff is
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, they
disagree
used to-
with them, but what I'm saying is you got to recognize you're in a business to entertain the audience. You know what I
Right.
mean?
oh yeah. And
Yeah.
Well, the Beatles didn't have everything overnight. Remember, they were playing in fucking Hamburg for fucking ever before they
the point is they
blew up.
understood the business from the beginning. They understood the business. You know,
Yes,
but I don't think a
but,
lot of
that's
like what
just
we
the way
call like alternative or grunge bands understood.
Nirvana. Thank you. My son Jacob of the Empire,
I like Nirvana.
delivering whiskey. Thank you, son.
I just straight up don't like Nirvana. I'm tired of them. They're overplayed. They're overrated. He was bad on purpose by his own admission. That was the whole point, was he was being bad at music on purpose. That was the whole point. And then, I don't know. I think that he gets way too much credit for things that Dave Grohl did. And
I appreciate Grohl as a musician. I don't like Grohl as a human.
Yeah,
he drives me fucking insane.
Yeah.
Ever since he allegedly killed his drummer, I've had a real problem with Grohl. I even like fucking Foo Fighters. I did. I enjoyed them, but then that the incident happened, and I haven't been able to tolerate them ever since.
Right.
And I haven't.
So
and I was never a huge Nirvana fan when they came out.
Right.
In hindsight, to say that Kurt Cobain is not one of the most influential people in music history, for me, that's just kind of naive to say that. I mean, because I've heard that numerous times, and I think he's extremely influential. Whether he deserves it or not, that's up for debate.
Well, they started in the 80s, right?
Right.
Like the late 80s. Didn't they open for the Pixies? That's
they were friends with all those fucking weirdos. It's like Grohl. I mean, because Grohl wasn't their original.
That guy had a voice.
Right.
Here we go. Here's.
They didn't blow up till he joined.
We were talking about. Fuck you. We were talking. Not you. Sorry. No, we were just talking about Motorhead though, and I wanted to bring up Motorhead so people could see what the fuck we're talking about. Although most of you, if you're watching this, you probably know. Maybe you don't know who Motorhead is, but you've heard Ace of Spades at some point in your fucking life. There's no way you haven't. But that's not their only song. He's right. They have a best of.
If you
can buy it.
If you watched wrestling in the 90s, you heard from Motorhead. Yep.
If you played Tony Hawk 2 or 3, you heard Ace of Spades.
Right.
They did The Game, which is his main theme song, and Evolution, which was his stable theme song.
And then they also did a second song for him called Bow Down to the King.
I thought they remade that into The Game, but it could be. Yeah, it could be something. Yeah.
Lemmy was a cool dude, and he was a bass player. So that's I have an affection for that.
Speaking of being a bass player. Lemmy and Motorhead are tied to Jimi Hendrix too. The day Jimi Hendrix died of the accidental reaction to sleeping pills, Lemmy was supposed to.
Accidental?
He had a reaction to sleeping pills. It wasn't an overdose. He just took 2 sleeping pills and they killed him. That was it. Lemmy was Jimi Hendrix's guitar tech in his band, and he was going to try out to be the bass player of the Jimi Hendrix band. Literally the day Hendrix died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Dropping knowledge.
I did not know that.
Already.
I did not know that. Let's see what we got going on here with our man Joe. You're nice. Wow. Oh, that's beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
You got to stop that. Every time you're on the show, it makes me fucking hate myself just a little bit more for my lack of talent.
What are you talking about? When it comes to music, guys, I have zero talent. Like I envy.
Cut off my fucking hands, James.
I can't do anything. Like my daughter, she could play the piano. She's learned the piano now, and I just look at it. It's like magic to me. Just don't understand it at all.
Well, also your daughter is living in an Asian country, so kind of just bleaches into you when you live there long enough. Or so I'm told.
A lot of work goes into it. I wish it bled into me. Yeah.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding. Who is that? So that's what's kind of a round one. So round 2 is going to be more of a speed round here. We still got about an hour to play with, though, so at least we got that. But it's easy. It's easy to wander off when we're talking about music stuff. It's just you go from one fucking spot to another. I'd like to bring up a band just because I normally don't interject myself into these things, but it was for me the 80s kind of was a bookmark of 2 bands. Duran Duran, who we really haven't touched on yet, and U2. U2 owns the end of the 80s. I like Duran. I own both of them. I think they're both very talented. I think U2 was better younger and
more album Joshua Tree, and that's
Joshua Tree. Beautiful.
Well, after
Rattle and Hum.
You didn't like
After
their Octoon
Rattle and
Baby
Hum,
album?
it was a real fucking. I like it better now. It took me a lot. It was like watching True Detective. You can't just go from season 1 directly to season 2 because it's too jarring. That's the same thing that happened with Octung Baby. Octung Baby was so fucking different than, and because remember, Rattle and Hum, a lot of that is some revisited material, and then they did for a lot of it just for the movie
live album, right, the film.
To create the live album. What kind of movie is this going to be? It's a musical, Jenny. If you've seen the movie, which I've seen that movie probably like 1,000 fucking times because
yes,
it was playing in the theater when I was working in the movie theater when I was young Roman of the Empire. But let me pull up just the discography.
I was
that movie came out
also on Octoon Baby until the song One came out, and that's probably one of my 2 or 3 favorite U2 songs. One. So.
Yeah,
I love it's a great song.
Yeah.
Again, that was the only song I liked off the album for a long fucking time. But
I would say
I'm okay with.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, as far as U2 goes, I mean, the War album was amazing. Joshua Tree was great. Joshua Tree. Joshua Tree is a fucking defining fucking album. Yes.
Now that's not the album that got them on the radar. The album that got them on the radar was Unforgettable Fire. That's the one that really pushed it with Pride.
I mean, Pride was a great song. I would say probably my favorite U2 song would be like a Sunday Bloody Sunday. It's just an amazing song.
Yes. And actually, and the better version of that is from Live from Red Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the version you probably know. If you're familiar with that song, that's probably the one that you've heard.
Yeah, with or without you, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Man, that was all.
Oh yeah, Joshua Tree.
Karaoke.
Joshua Tree was a series of hit after hit after
just bangers.
hit after hit.
Just bangers.
It was what we would call Bullet the Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
It's a perfect. I mean, it really is. It's a perfect fucking album. It's not one of those albums you buy where you're like, well, there's 2 or 3 good songs on it. The entire fucking album was incredible.
Was a banger.
I do.
And you go ahead.
Oh, he asked if anybody remembered Rat. Like, yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Rat.
yeah.
Oh, Rat. Yeah.
Rat.
A lot. But no, I can't separate
Diego,
music from the memories I have that I went through at the time that all these songs were playing on the radio or were popular. And I had a particularly toxic relationship that broke up, and that was like the theme back then. So I can't really, I don't know.
Separate the two.
It makes me instantly go to a bad place in my brain. So every time I hear it, I just turn it off. So
that's unfortunate.
But that's just on me. They're very talented, great songs.
Album cover with the kid on it.
Now I will say this will say this, that I believe it was off of Octung Baby. Mysterious Ways is one of the best lap dance songs that was ever been made.
Really?
I thought going to distance.
I
was unaware of that. So this is Under a Blood Red Sky. I'm sorry, I live at Red Rocks, Under a Blood Red Sky. That's the version of
great album.
Yeah.
Fucking we were just talking
Dave
about
Matthews at Red Rocks over U2 at Red Rocks.
Who's been to the Red Rock Amphitheater in Colorado? I didn't actually see a band there, but I went and visited it, so it was pretty cool.
But so yeah, U2 was, and it's there's another. So The Fly, fuck The Fly. They wrote a song. Do you remember Roy Orbison in the late 80s had a bit of a resurgence, both with the Traveling Wilburys and then on his own?
Yeah.
And he Bono wrote the song Mystery Girl for Roy Orbison, and that's Edge playing the guitar on the album. If you've ever heard Mystery Girl, it's an incredible haunting piece. Roy Orbison just had that amazing voice anyway. But everybody knows, all of his early work. So a lot of people are not familiar with the later work of Roy Orbison. With the Wilburys was also just a lot of fun. Also 80s stuff with Jeff, what's his fuck from ELO, George Harrison. You know, they were like a super group of all these older artists.
Yeah.
Roy Orbison was the first one to pass away from that group. He died like shortly after the release of Mystery Girl, the album. So it's worth checking out. Again, Bono wrote that for him. I always think that's really interesting when you have that kind of generational thing where they want to pay homage to their elders, and Bono did that with Roy Orbison.
The year he died, he did a special called the Roy Orbison Black and White special.
Black and White Night. Oh my God, that was
35
awesome.
musicians. Yeah, he had he had Bruce Springsteen, Prince, was McCartney there? Tom.
There were a lot of motherfuckers there.
Tom Petty was there. The who's who of musicians were there, and they all paying tribute to this guy because he could barely stand at the time. He would stand up and sing and play a little guitar and sit down again. He's another one of those forgotten musicians who influenced with everyone for a lot of stuff. I guess his research happened because of the movie Pretty Woman, which I hated the movie, but I always loved the song. But he's Only the Lonely. You want to listen to go listen to Only the Lonely. It's an amazing song, And
sorry, Boosh is cracking me.
Yeah, but
no tubing pulling.
Yeah, you broke my train of thought. Damn you!
Sorry.
The train went off the track.
I have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old.
Roman, if you want to, by the means I gave you, you can see Black and White Night. I have it on there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that thing in fucking.
I watch it every year.
A minute, probably 30 plus years since I've fucking seen that. It is an incredible group of musicians coming together with Roy Orbison. It's not just a treat for the ears. Visually, it's just amazing to see them all together, and it just the look of it, they really knew how to shoot. The feature.
And he had a peculiar, in a good way, voice that's timeless. It had a little warble to it that, and it was like it's hard to explain if you haven't heard him. It's just like he wasn't like a bombastic, like ultra loud singer. He sort of crooned, I guess you would say, but man.
Yeah, to me, he had a very 1950s voice.
Well, yeah, obviously that's where he started, late 50s. But his sound was. It wasn't. You couldn't say, well, he's definitely a 50s. You know what I mean? Like it just played great music, And he's an influence for everyone. That's all. The reason all those guys did that show with him, is he. Roman, I'll call up one scene where you can and where you can see all the musicians.
From Black and White Night.
Yeah. I'll tell you when we're trying to take a couple seconds.
Really, he was only 52 when he died.
Yeah, he was really young.
Yeah.
Well, it's like he was about the same age. Joe Strummer was, I think, only 50 when he died. Joe Strummer from the Clash. But I always see you're right though. Looking back, I thought Roy Orbison was older. He had a really rough run of things. His first wife, I believe, was killed in a fire. Their house burned down. It was either his wife or his son. You'll have to forgive me. It was a disaster. And this he and Johnny Cash were friends back then. I read this in is that a cat or a small monkey?
No, it's
wow.
Oh, okay.
It's my puppy.
Look at that. It's like a dog.
Miss Athena.
You could see how I could get monkey out of that. Come on, it's unfair that I.
What's his name? Athena.
Yep.
What's the dog's name? Athena.
Yep, Athena. I named her after the goddess of wisdom, and she's the dumbest animal on the planet.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Matt, did you already say that thing?
Hold up.
Okay.
So there'll be no sound. There'll be no sound.
Okay. We can only play it for fucking 10 seconds.
Well, I'm not going to play any sound. I'm going to show you.
Just slide. Okay.
So this is him singing "Pretty Woman." Now look at you'll
the lighting.
Pan around a little bit. All these people in the background are famous musicians playing just to support him. Like there's Eric Clapton on stage. These guys, even the background musician. There's a set of Bruce Springsteen sitting down playing background guitar. That's how much they love this guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was good shit.
Yeah. Eric Clapton. I said Eric Clapton. There's Bruce, and I forgot the other guy's name. They're singing background for him. You know, it's just such an incredible if you can find this and watch it, I don't want to get the copyright or whatever, but if you can find this and watch it.
Yeah, definitely worth your time.
Yeah.
Elvis Costello's there as well. It's a crazy, incredible lineup.
Well, I just showed you 10 seconds from one song. On other songs, other people come out. There's a guitar jam scene where 7 all-time great guitarists, Clapton, Prince, Springsteen, they all jam into this one Roy Orbison song together. You know, it's
probably Pretty Woman if I were a betting man. That would have been a crescendo kind of moment. So Dempsey, who else would you like to discuss that's going to take us to 7 different fucking artists?
Well, I have a good one that I don't know if anybody here will recognize or not, but Black Sabbath.
Okay.
Never heard of those bastards.
Never heard of them.
They had a weird thing going on in the 80s too.
So 80s Sabbath.
Right. 80s Sabbath.
Ronnie James.
So is this
Dio?
This is Dio Sabbath.
Right. Now they're good. Don't get me wrong. I like old Ozzy Sabbath. Everybody likes old Ozzy Sabbath, Paranoia and all. They're paranoid, but they had
Last
some
in
really
Line.
good stuff going on.
Last in Line, Holy Diver.
Right. I mean,
So
Dio himself had that. I think Holy Diver was just Dio, right?
Yeah, that's just Dio. He's on my
Oh,
list.
okay, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Dio with the horns, man. He was the one who did that. That was where it came from. You had to pay homage to the man. So
have you ever seen the meme of there's this guy? He has the Ronnie James's body and shoulders and his head here, and it morphs into his hand, and it says great tap, bro. But now every time you jack off, it's Ronnie James Dio that
right. That's the one I saw with the Mario.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dio's first album with them was literally 80 or 81. It was Heaven and Hell.
Yep. And that's our good friend
Children of the Sea was on that. What else? Children of the Sea and the actual song Heaven and Hell. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's good stuff, man. I mean, I saw him. I saw Black Sabbath with their first show back with Ozzy, and they were touring with Pantera.
Okay.
I actually spoke with Dimebag right before the show and didn't know it was him because there were so many dudes running around that day with really long pink goatees. It was just another dude. Turns out it was him. Yeah, me and my buddy.
When was that? Was that when they got back together to do 13 or?
I don't know what you mean. They were on tour with Pantera, and Ozzy was the singer, and he was
so Ozzy was back with the band. This is obviously Ozzy's back with Sabbath.
Right.
Remember, they did the album. Rick Rubin produced it, called 13. And the only member of the band who isn't there is the drummer. It's the drummer from Rage Against the Machine filled in. So that's what I'm wondering if it was that time frame. I mean, it would make sense if it's Ozzy playing with Black Sabbath.
The second time that I know of that they tried to get back together, because the first time they tried to get back together was at an Ozfest.
I saw them at Ozfest.
Had laryngitis and couldn't come out. So the singers from all the other bands that came out and they did
shit
homage to him. It was amazing. But there was a ton of people in the audience who were like, no, we showed up to see Ozzy, and they rioted, and it was crazy, man. They set the pavilion on fire. They flipped over cars. They tore down the wall. There was helicopters and cops in riot gear and everything. It was crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. Ozfest. Yep. Up Polaris Amphitheater in Columbus.
So you're telling me it was a mostly peaceful
right.
Mostly peaceful
concert.
Yeah. The mostly peaceful concert where things got burned down. It's fine.
It was crazy.
So with Ronnie James, there's a current band out of Vancouver called Unleash the Archers. Where
I love it. Oh, they're good. Yeah.
That girl.
Oh, yeah,
okay. So my joke is that the girl is secretly Ronnie James's daughter because she can belt.
Yeah, she
She
can.
can.
Yeah, she can. I love their drummer too, man.
Oh yeah.
He's good. Yes. No, I highly recommend that.
Bring
That's
up
D metal
here's
right
a ticket.
Go listen to him.
Yes.
So this looks like it was 1999.
Yes.
98.
Emperor. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Emperor,
here's
that is
the
correct.
the
I
ticket
still-
for Black Sabbath Pantera.
Yeah,
Is that 98? Yeah, 4 December 98.
that was crazy.
Now Pantera. Now Pantera, I will say, is the band that where I graduated to the growl, which
Right.
is just
He was kind of a hybrid between the two because his voice,
Right.
he's got crazy good control over his voice.
Right.
What he did.
which
did.
right, and so one of my favorite bands now, and Dempsey, you will know this band, I am for sure. With their current singer is Arch Enemy with Alyssa White.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that rules.
Holy shit.
wow, Jinja.
Oh,
Dang.
no.
Now you need to tell
Dude.
Axl Rose's bloody head hanging from his guitar swinging. You know.
Wow.
Oh my god, dude. That
I've always
is
wanted to
fucking
draw Flash.
amazing.
Like he's taking
Now you
over
have-
the 80s women.
Look at that fucking hair, dude.
Right?
Damn.
That is
Flash's hair
fantastic.
is the hair that goes with Beard of Liberty's beard.
Oh,
See, that's why I had to lose the hair because together it just would be too much.
Right. Like,
Oh,
hey,
beard.
kids under 21, this is the guy your mom liked.
Beard's beard. Oh.
I wish I had a picture of like when I was like 27 and I had the full Grizzly Adams hair to my chest and beard down to here.
Wow.
You just see my
Dang,
eyes
dude.
and glasses and hair.
But
I
did
would
you have a
pull-
top hat?
No, it wouldn't have fit. The hair was big. It was full metal. Like shake your head and you get a giant whip effect on your hair.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah. Like Jason Newsted was really good at that.
Yeah.
He get the whip going. Yeah, he was crazy. As a matter of fact,
Let's
when
see.
I saw Metallica, that was my first concert. It was them by themselves on the Black Album tour in '93, I think it was. And
Okay.
Jason had just cut his hair off.
Oh no.
Yeah, like right before the show.
Ooh.
Like maybe
Was that the tour that Nirvana was on?
No, it was, well, I don't know, but they were by themselves when I saw them. The Nutter Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
my-
like
my-
they
3
didn't have an
hours of
opening
just
act?
them. It was awesome. And it was on the Black Album tour, so they had a bunch of new songs that weren't bandwagon songs at that point, like Enter Sandman, you know,
Right.
that hadn't been played to death at that point. So, yeah, good stuff.
Right on.
Sorry,
Pantera.
you need to go back to
No,
Metallica.
no. That's
No.
that's
this
we
is
wander.
good.
That's what these conversations wander. That's what they do.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, at that concert where I saw where Pantera and Sabbath was playing, when I talked to Dimebag, he asked me if I was there to see Pantera or Sabbath, and we both just were like, Pantera, man, and he was like, no way, dude, Sabbath. And we didn't get it until we saw him on stage a couple minutes later. Guy, I get it now. Okay, right. He's like, not my crappy band, Sabbath, dude. Come on.
Rocking the Mountain Dew there. Dempsey, I like it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Lord. James, is there something else you want to throw out there?
Well, the actually the biggest band, the band that had the biggest influence on me in the 80s, and this was from elementary school. I believe it was my second or third year of elementary school. It was my third year. I had a paper route. I had a friend named Thomas, so we did a paper route after school, and I took the money that I raised from my paper route, and I bought G.I. Joe figures. I
Okay.
went by myself to go see Karate Kid 2.
Nice.
Which is
Okay.
one of the reasons why I'm here in Japan, a big reason.
Okay.
And I bought my first tape ever, which was Def Leppard, Hysteria.
Oh wow,
Def
okay.
Leppard.
Those first couple Def Leppard albums were awesome.
Was that
Dude.
Pour Some Sugar on Me? Was that
That
album?
was Pour
Yep.
Some Sugar on Me.
Sure.
And I had my tape player, and I would carry it around the playground during school lunch break, and I play Love Bites, which was one of my Love Bites is such a beautiful song. And then Rocket,
Rocket's a
Animal,
great song.
such a great like from beginning to end,
Photograph.
a great yeah. Well, that's on the previous.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
the
that's
previous,
true.
Right, yeah,
I mean, okay.
just a awesome,
I mean,
awesome album.
I mean, Love Bites got played a lot.
Yeah.
I like Hysteria more. That.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah. But I mean, whenever you're walking around the playground
Right.
and you've got the
Right.
tape and you got all the girls walking around you got to play Love Bites, eh? You know. Yeah. So this
Actually,
one for me.
Which album did the drummer lose his fucking arm? Where was that?
It was before this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know for sure, but it was before this. So apparently they changed their sound so they could accommodate his playing
Drumming.
correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
To a point, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It also made him up a really cool drum set that I kind of feel jealous about.
Yeah.
Seriously, he's got some cool stuff. He's got some cool options on there for his feet.
Yeah.
I mean, I like my little dinky little drum set that I've got.
And it's funny because this was the one that got me into rock, and then afterwards I kind of fell away from rock again, and then the Megadeth got me back. And then it was funny. I just go through these phases after moving back and forth. This kind of brings us back to Mando's when she was talking about Poison, because I was really into Belle Biv DeVoe, hip hop, and all this kind of stuff, you know. And I asked my aunt; she worked at the gas station, and I said, she asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, Poison," you know, the song by Belle Biv DeVoe. And I opened up my Christmas present, and it's this tape Poison, the rock band, and it just brought me right back in again.
That girl is poison.
Yep.
Strange, sad journey.
Such good music.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
See, every time
so that's the one. Def Leppard for me.
Like Motley Crue.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Right on. Now, I myself, I didn't really know. I was aware of Def Leppard. It wasn't really my bag, baby. I do, like I said, I remember the drummer got arrested for spousal abuse after he lost the arm, which I found hilarious and sad at the same time.
Hilarious.
So, you know, it is what it is.
He's unarmed.
Thank you, Mando.
Thank you, Mando.
There you go.
Oh Lord. So Mando, who else from this era affected you in some fashion?
There's two. I'm gonna go with the one out of left field, and most of you probably won't like. The Beach Boys was another one my mom had on
Are you
constantly.
talking about fucking Kokomo? They're-
Dude, what a great song.
God.
That's
Fucking
right up there.
Mando.
God damn it, Mando.
Mando, I may have to revoke your scissors.
Nope. No way. I spent a lot of time on a boat growing up, dude. There was a lot of Beach Boys. A lot.
I'm sorry. Like I said, a lot of my early childhood was.
You're just 20 years too late. That's all.
Montego.
I mean, another one's Dolly Parton. Just any of hers.
Dolly Parton is
Oh, nice.
amazing. Anyone who criticizes
Yes.
Dolly Parton, you're gonna get some.
You're a fool, dude. Dolly's amazing.
I mean, yeah. So Dolly Parton, obviously better.
You go on
of all of them.
Jolene, and it's a
Yeah,
wrap.
I'll give you how awesome Dolly Parton is. I'll give it.
God.
So she was recently nominated to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she's like, "I ain't gonna be in the Rock Hall. I never did any rock songs." Then they made a deal on her being and said, "Well, now I got to do a rock album." She did a rock album just to prove she can do it.
Right?
Never did understand why they get other genres in the Rock and Roll Hall.
Well,
of
it's really,
Right.
it's really
No,
the
they
music
should,
hall
they
of
should
fame.
make
It's
other
the
halls
Rock
of
and Roll
fame. That would be.
But that's a whole other argument. Well,
Yep.
how awesome Dolly Parton is. Like,
Let me know when that discussion happens. I want to be part of that.
Mm.
you want to hear an awesome triple duet? I guess it's called a triplet or whatever. Her, Linda Ronstadt, and what was the other singer's name? They called like the Triple Threat or something like that. They did like an album together in the 70s. Three of the most amazing voices singing together you'll ever hear. I can't remember the other one's name, but the song Whitney Houston made big. What was that song?
I Will Always Love You.
Yeah, that's a Dolly Parton song.
Yeah.
That's Dolly Parton song.
Yeah.
She has my favorite Christmas album with her and Kenny Rogers. An amazing album, Christmas Without You, I think it's called, something like that. I can go on about Dolly Parton. She's an amazing.
Well, I mean, the song I Will Always Love You like is a kind of like a farewell to her other person that she was singing with. What is his name?
Kenny Rogers.
Yes. Basically, like, I will always remember you, like, and then Whitney Houston made it bigger.
And The Bodyguard. Now
It's
you
down
talked
Bobby
now,
Brown.
Bodyguard. Yeah.
now you talked about a Dolly Parton.
Emmylou Harris. The other one I couldn't think of was Emmylou Harris. So Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, Emmylou Harris. They got them together in the 70s to do a bunch of songs together. It's an amazing like triple duet, or you call it triplet or whatever.
I just heard. I heard not too long ago. I heard not too long ago a Christmas album sung by the original singer from Nightwish. So it's like this gothic opera.
Tarja Turunen.
Yeah.
Well, technically, she's the second
Fine,
singer.
Jacob. It's not an 80s band, okay?
Yeah, but that song came out in the 80s, though.
They had several songs that came out in the
That is
80s.
very much like a Ghost in Darkness reference here.
Talk about blessed bands. Nightwish has been blessed to have two of the greatest female singers of all time as their lead singer. Yeah.
Did I have a good backup then, Roman? Was Dolly Parton a good backup?
No, she's not. It's horrible. When people think of the 80s, they're not thinking
Working
about
9 to 5,
Dolly
baby.
Parton.
9 to 5.
No, I was thinking 9 to 5. 9 to 5. I love
Yeah,
that
exactly.
movie, man.
That's what I was thinking. 9 to
That's a great
5.
movie. I love the anime scenes in
No,
that.
you're
The
all
animation
wrong.
scenes.
Every person on the panel right now is wrong.
Yeah,
Every
all us,
fucking
Roman.
one of
Including
you.
yourself? That's all right.
Including
I'm
yourself.
never wrong.
Well, that's okay, because my big pick was going to be Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock.
Hey,
It Takes Two.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't understand how big that was
Oh, that's a great song.
when that first came out that summer of '88. I went to basic training, and we got a chance to go to like the little rec center, and they were playing it in there. It was crazy.
Movie.
Well, it may not be internationally known, but it's been known to rock a microphone.
Your phone. Yep, exactly.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, I got nothing here. This is
So,
again, not
wait,
my-
you
not
didn't-
my-
you-
not
you
my
had to have
genre,
heard the
not my
song.
bag.
You've had to have heard
I don't think that I had.
Wow.
And probably not in the circles that I traveled or even in public necessarily.
There's no.
I'm
Okay, maybe.
just saying.
It was at the skating rink for me, man. I couldn't avoid
Yep.
it.
Oh, the
It's a
skating rink.
skating rink.
It
Yes.
was big, and they'll still play it now. If you go to like a club or something, they'll bust it out even now.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Dude,
that
how can
good.
you not dance to that song?
Yeah, exactly.
Easily.
It was big in Japan back then. But if we want to talk rock, let's talk about the seminal rock opera animation Rock and Rule. Does anyone? It's got the most
Bueller?
hardcore rock song that Cheap Trick has ever done. Born to Raise Hell is on it.
Oh, I've never heard of it. You're making that up.
No, it's a 1983 Canadian animated movie.
I thought you were going to talk
Yeah,
about heavy
you
metal.
can't include
It's okay.
Canadians
So
in this
they
thing.
made this movie,
What are you
right?
doing?
They put all this money into it, made the movie. It didn't do well at the box office, and they went on to do Care Bears, and that's how they recovered their money for their company, because they went on to animate Care Bears. But it had a whole bunch of stuff in it. Lou Reed, My Name Is Mock, right? It had Justin saying that My Name Is Mock was on there. Lou Reed. It had Iggy Pop. It had
crazy.
Blondie. She did she
Blondie.
did a duo with the lead singer from Cheap Trick. It's a really good song. And it also has a song Hot Dogs and Sushi, which is kind of a little thing, but you can't get the whole song because it's just only made for the movie. But that one's really good. Melanie Brown does that one, and she's like from New York or whatever. But it was cool. Anyway, if you look it up, it's actually a good movie.
Now you mentioned Iggy Pop, which kind of ties into my next pick. A rather obscure band, but if you knew, you knew, and that would be the B-52s.
Oh, I
love
was
the
going to mention them.
B-52s.
Yes.
I love the B-52s. Rock Lobster. I was actually playing that.
Oh my God, Rock Lobster was so fun.
I was actually playing that video in my bar the other night. Someone and somebody asks, "What drugs are they on?" And I just said all of them.
Yes.
All of them.
They're on all of them.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
and then when they got into their later 80s, this is kind of when Kate really started to really was getting it was when Kate Pearson was getting a lot of attention, and then she did that duet Candy with Iggy Pop.
Well, with Iggy Pop, yeah, that was solid.
Beautiful song, and I've always loved this band, and they are just so much fun. It's just
Fun.
good fun. Yes.
Yep.
So if anyone wants to comment more on the B-52s and how awesome they are, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Rock Lobster, actually Planet Claire on that same album wasn't the same album. Was it with Planet Claire? I think it was, they were on the same album. I love Planet Claire because it sounds a lot like the Peter Gunn theme. Then his droning lyrics come over it, and the girls are just doing their kind of little shrieky sounds in the back, but harmonizing. They were an interesting. They were almost like a throwback to the 70s kind of art and music combined is what I think of when I think B-52s.
Yeah.
Jinja, thoughts, please.
Oh, about the B-52s?
Yeah.
Oh, they were hot. The lady singers too. I had a huge crush on those ladies, dude. No, I
forgot about that.
Like the Love Shack was the song that got them, that was the mainstream one that everybody heard about. But you find, like, again, this is one of those bands you look backward afterwards. Oh, such a good song. Yes. Yeah, it's on my 80s playlist.
Oh, yeah.
The one that you put on the car. You just want to drive around and have a fun time, a fun drive. Put on some B-52s. You're not going to go wrong at all.
No, never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, fun music. Agreed.
Yeah. You like to see that.
You don't listen to them and think, oh, they hate their lives. It's like, no, they're just having fun.
Right.
No, that's true.
They had all the fun. They had all the fun and all the drugs.
But you repeat yourself.
Might be a connection there somewhere.
Was anyone a Smiths fan?
Yes.
Back then. Because I know it's funny because we are all I think of different or not quite the same genres as far as things we listened to back in the day. The Smiths for me were another one of were a big.
How Soon Is Now. I mean, that is like their song. That is like they're like that is like their quintessential. That's a song that everyone knows. It was redone, and it was redone to be the theme of the TV show Charmed. So it's just.
And it's funny, a lot of people, and it's not hard to do. If you may confuse Morrissey, his solo work with Smiths, because it does sound remarkably similar. It's like Phil Collins and Genesis. You probably would confuse one for the other, and that's who you're looking at. Who was doing most of the songwriting will definitely show when they're doing their solo works. With Sting, in the Police. You hear the band in the artist, but I love the Smiths. They were another one of those bands of that era. But we go back to Joy Division when we talk about bands like the Smiths. It was all that crazy stuff coming together in music that the birth of alt rock was that new wave kind of movement, which you would put them under. And a lot of punk stuff fell under that same umbrella. But go
Clash.
Is that like synthwave, new wave stuff that came out in the 80s? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some good ones too. I've been recently getting more into that. Going on to Vigilante Williamson's music streams. He does Saturday night synthwave, or he did for a while on his music channel. And I started listening to more of it. And I think I missed out by being prejudiced against it in the 80s. Honestly.
That's the way I feel about metal. I didn't listen to metal in the 80s. I listened to, whatever. Pop was pop's kind of a garbage is a garbage can thing for whatever. But it was a lot of punk. And then the new wave shit. Like
What about it?
But the metal guys were way fucking different than the punks and the new wave people.
Like Black Flag or like what?
Yeah, Black Flag, and then another band came out of there because that was Rollins' band, and then Fugazi. I don't know if anybody else knows.
Fugazi. Fugazi.
Yeah,
definitely.
Fuck my life. Ian MacKaye was a fucking musical genius, business idiot, but musical genius. Kurt Cobain actually had similar unfortunate leanings as far as not wanting to be successful. Like MacKaye started Discogs Records. He started his own record company, but he never wanted to really be famous. So they never
What?
If you bring up
he's doing the Max Headroom impression.
Talking about.
Right?
It's an 80s show, man.
Right. And
Are you back?
And Dempsey,
He's lagged out.
you mentioned the synthwave stuff. If you're liking that, check out my favorite band. It's a band from Toronto called the Birthday Massacre. They are very much influenced by like 80s synthwave, new wave type stuff.
Nice, I will. Thanks for the recommendation.
You're welcome.
What were they called? The Birthday Massacre?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna
I'm kind of a fan. This is their logo. This is their logo. This is the
let me blow you up, Joker.
This is the lead singer's autograph, and then I've got a caricature of her on my arm here.
Nice.
She's kind of like a grown-up Wednesday Addams.
No, here we go. So let me see if it'll let me bring up the picture without fucking something up, which is kind of what I do here. You may have noticed. So here we go. The Birthday Massacre. I know it's a roll of the dice, folks. I've not heard of them. I'm going to keep this thing in the background so I can listen to them on Spotify.
Yep.
So Mando.
Nice.
Wait, let me see your arm.
Yeah.
Oh, Deftones.
White Pony, the Deftones, baby.
White Pony, I love the Deftones, man. Yes.
So, oh my God, so we actually my favorite Deftones song. Is it from White? It might be. I don't know if it's from White Pony or not. Or it might be from their B-sides. Fucking B-sides and rando shit. That's the possible. Beard threw the idea at me to do a show down the road, so I'm getting ahead of myself just a tiny bit. But Deftones, but it still works. Did a cover of Duran Duran's "The Chauffeur."
Mm-hmm.
It is so fucking good. It's one of those ones that I actually prefer it to the original, and I love the original. So, man, that's some crazy shit.
Passenger.
Yeah, Chino's great. He's a superb talent. Yeah. Yep. Night Party. Start getting into
Mando. What did you? I mean, you weren't alive in the 80s, so you did. You don't. So you only have references like I did to the 60s, I guess, back in the day. So your music of the 80s, though. What do you think of when you think of 80s music? I have to hear that. I think you're the youngest one on the
She's the baby.
I is the baby. Oh, AC/DC, Metallica, and some Guns N' Roses.
No,
Those are the
Guns N'
top three
Roses-
when I think of the
Yeah.
80s.
I'm not. I didn't. That Sweet Child of Mine
Yeah.
was at the end of some fucking horror movie. I don't remember the name of the horror movie. Matt, you probably know because you'll probably be able to pull it out.
Long Sweet Child of Mine.
But the song played because remember I'm working in the movie theater. So at the end of the movie, that song would come on every fucking time. At first, I liked it, and then I grew to hate it because I had to hear it again and again and again and again and again. And it was a horror movie. It was dream shit. And so not Freddy Krueger, but same.
Was it like
same,
Hellraiser 2 or something?
No. It was some blonde-haired preacher style dude who would go into your dreams. It was a weird fucking movie. Obviously not.
I know it
I
was
know
in
what
Big
you're talking about.
Daddy. I know Sweet Child of Mine was in Big Daddy with what's his face.
No, clearly not Big Daddy.
No, I know what you're talking about. It was oh man, what's the name of that movie?
Dreamscape.
Yeah. No, not Dreamscape.
No. Oh.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was before Guns N' Roses had crossed over into the big time, and so they'd already signed away the song to be in the end credits of the movie.
Are we talking
so,
like
I said,
87, 88, 89?
It would be somewhere between 87 and 89.
Because the first time I heard of
that
Guns N'
time
Roses
period.
was on the radio when I lived in Tucson in 87, and I heard Welcome to the Jungle, and I was like flabbergasted by it because everything else was all kinds of hair band stuff that sucked and I didn't like.
Right.
Then that came out and I was like, finally something that felt like it was from a good band. You know what I mean?
Right. Actual heavy metal.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yep. Like it had a heart to it. You know.
Exactly.
I like the sound of Guns N' Roses better than the visual of Guns N' Roses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just by and large, Axl Rose, yeah. Like I said, I like the sound of Axl Rose. I don't like seeing Axl Rose.
Right.
What was the movie called? Bad Dreams?
It may have been.
That's in 1988.
Does that work? Yeah, I mean that works timeline wise.
It's listed as having that song in the.
That's got to be it. Yeah. Like I said, working in the movie theater, the fucking song comes on, so I know the movie's over. I got to open the door so don't throw the garbage all the fucking
mission.
Wait, what? Matt, you didn't see it?
I don't remember seeing it, so I have a
what
mission.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I rely on you for this information, Matt.
I've only seen 3,474 horror movies per year. That's all I did.
The reason I thought it might have been Hellraiser is I was on home from leave from technical training.
I'm feeling let down.
I went and saw it.
Yeah, that must be it. It says it's the song starts when the credits appear. So right
yeah, that's got to be it. Bad Dreams.
1988.
Yeah, the movie didn't make much of an impact, obviously, like I said, but that song is there.
Like a lot of movies in the 80s.
Well, yes. Is there any other band anybody is itching to talk about before we start going on?
I just want to throw out something real quick, mostly because of one song, but Dire Straits.
Heck yeah.
I mean, obviously they're known for Sultans of Swing, Money and Nothing, Walk of Life, things like that. But I think for the album that's also this title, Brothers in Arms, is underappreciated.
Oh, that song is it grabs your heart. That song is kind of a musical journey. I'm going to put earlier, but that song is.
I'm going to put it because I can't post in links into your chat. I'm going to put it in the private chat for a 2007 live performance in Berlin by Mark Knopfler of Brothers in Arms. Fantastic.
I'll copy it and put it in the chat.
And I recommend it. For some reason, most of my life, I went without ever really hearing that song. And then when that was brought to my attention, it just immediately it hits you right in the gut. And
there we go.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So I just shared that.
Thank you.
And that song, that whole album is also very good.
Yes.
Mrs. of the Empire wanted to add that to our collection, so we have that. And I remember, it's funny. I remember of course, the Money for Nothing was the song that was on MTV all the fucking time.
Yes.
And it was overplayed. I like it better. There are certain songs that overplay, even if it's a fucking amazing song, and you brought that up earlier, Dempsey, we're talking about Nirvana. The overplay can really sour a fucking thing. There are some songs that I can't fucking listen to
Right.
ever
Absolutely.
again because I've heard them so many times. Brothers in Arms is not one of those songs though. It's a brilliant song on an album that you probably haven't heard. You've heard the other ones a million times, but that one piece it's haunting and it's tragic. It has the air of tragedy about it. When you're listening to, you feel that.
It is a fantastic song, but it doesn't have that kind of like fun hook that all their other big songs that everybody knows has. So it definitely doesn't get as much playtime.
No, it's got that guitar that basically the single fingering guitar stuff going into it. It's beautiful. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't have the catchy hook.
Right.
Yeah, and Mark Knopfler just in general. I mean, I think most people who know anything about music recognize he is a fantastic guitar player.
Yeah.
But of the names that most people know, I'd put him down at the list, but most people don't even know him as being a fantastic guitar player. That's not a name that comes up in a lot of conversations unless you're really talking to people who get really deep into music.
Right. You get your Steve Vai's and your Eddie Van Halen's and people, Joe Satriani's.
You get these like people who are, whether through skill or showmanship, are really over the top. But he just seems to be that kind of person who, especially if you watch that performance that Roman linked, he's on a stage in front of this huge crowd of people, and he feels like he's just playing in his living room.
Right.
Well,
that's a nice one. That's a good one to bring up, dude. That's not a something everybody necessarily knows. But it's a band everybody knows.
Yeah.
Money for Nothing and Chicks for Free.
Yep. And that video was groundbreaking too because of the computer graphics.
Right.
And also I read somewhere or I watched an interview. So there's that part where there's the woman and she's walking away from the camera. They filmed that in like Eastern Europe somewhere. And she kept telling them that she wanted to take her clothes off for the camera. And they're like, no, we don't need that. And she's
that sounds like
sure?
Eastern Europe.
Because I'm totally cool with doing it. And they were like, no. I mean, that would have made a nicer video.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And don't want to lose the show without mentioning Queen.
Oh, that's on my list.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I
Arguably,
didn't say it at the beginning. I was hoping that what you were going to be drawing was going to be Flash Gordon because of Queen.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Next time.
Nice job, James. Nice fucking job, man.
Yeah, a lot of bangers in there.
Yeah, throw that away. We don't want to see it anymore.
Let me
Queen is arguably the greatest collection of musical talent in a band
amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm playing around with this right now, just having some fun with it. I want to do something with the background.
That is a beautiful piece. Every fucking time, dude. Every fucking time.
It's the show, man. It's you guys, dude. I'm telling you.
That's amazing. I just again, what you can do in a couple hours is just fucking makes me want to chop my fucking hands off and make a stew out of them.
So let's see who has the real nerd card. Does any for one of the songs from the 80s? Dr. Demento, Fish Heads.
Yes.
Oh fuck yeah! Fish heads, roly
Roly fish.
Oh yeah.
Way to get it in.
Oh my god!
In the video.
All right, we got time for one more before we have to roll out. Dempsey, you want to do it?
Hey, I got a whole bunch of them. How about Wasp or Iron Maiden or Eazy-E or Vanilla Ice?
Fucking Iron Maiden! Oh my god!
Wait, Vanilla Ice was in the. What's that in that?
Yeah, late 80s.
Yeah, it was late 80s. That's
Yeah.
right. I thought it was 1990 for some
Crack
reason.
Vanilla Ice.
I had the VHS. I did. I could do all the dance moves and all that. Yeah.
Oh, here he is, Salty, coming in with the from the top rope.
Talking.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Yeah, Dawkins had that song at the end of the Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Was that 3?
Dream Warriors.
Yeah. I mean that they really came out then. I mean, you couldn't have gotten much bigger than Nightmare on Elm Street mid 80s with Dawkins.
Right.
I mean,
I'll give you a Vanilla Ice anecdote.
Oh God!
The only time I've ever gotten flooded in real life. Okay, I was in a mall. Two of my friends, we were from college. I was showing around because they were from the West Coast, and they started playing that horrible Vanilla Ice song that he ripped off from Under Pressure. Don't know what it was. Yeah, whatever.
Right.
And I screamed out turn that motherfucking, and it echoed throughout the mall, and the song stopped. The entire mall started clapping for me.
Yeah, speaking of an overplayed song.
Right.
Oh my Lord.
Anything from pop in the late 80s, all that stuff.
So yeah, I could listen to a decent pop song, but some of it's like so like rip-offy of other songs. That's what I can't stand. You know?
Well, that's back when they could sample without getting in trouble too.
I'm still not a fan of that. And I know whatever, it's genre specific stuff. It's not my bag, baby. But like Duran Duran was pop. That was pop. They were like the Beach Boys of the 80s, or the Beatles. The same thing. The Beatles were pop.
Duran Duran has
but it's just of the era. I mean, there were other things that were pop. Whitney Houston was also pop, but she had that crossover into what you call R&B and soul stuff.
Well, she came from gospel R&B and became pop.
Right.
But still pop. Fucking D. Schneider, Beastie Boys.
Early Beastie Boys were great. The first couple.
I like the Beastie Boys. I like the Beastie Boys. I have their best of. It's fucking awesome.
What you want?
No, it was good. My brain has stopped working. No Sleep Till Brooklyn. No Sleep Till Brooklyn is just such a fucking killer song. I know I'm old. I get tired.
You can't mention 80s pop and not mention New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. You can choose not to mention them.
Fucking boy bands.
I'm with Ninja on this one. Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
But every female in my class listened to them, and not just listened to them, but like obsessed over them. Had like sheets and lunchboxes, book bags, and posters.
Oh my God.
And
there was another one. It wasn't New Kids on the Block. It was
In Sync.
Backstreet Boys.
That's more not Backstreet Boys and Sync are more 90s.
I always think of it as all of them to me are the same group of people.
Essentially.
New Kids on the Block were kind of the precursors to all those.
New edition.
Oh, fuck.
I think the question that everybody really wants to know the answer to is Roman. New Kids on the Block or Dolly Parton?
Dolly Parton. I can say that without any reservation.
You had such a negative response to her.
No, I don't know. I don't like Dolly Parton, but me not liking Dolly Parton is not the same thing as me.
I just wanted to know because you had such a negative reaction to Dolly Parton earlier. It was like somebody sprayed a skunk in your face.
It's more the Beach Boys than as an 80s fan. It's not your fault, Mando. You're very young. But like Salty here has brought up, Men at Work, Depeche Mode, Echo and the Bunnymen. Fucking Echo and the Bunnymen is just a superb band.
Lips like
see what he's talking about here, though. Aside from Men at Work, what I would say are kind of more pop. But Depeche Mode, The Cure, which we talked about at length, Echo and the Bunnymen, all fall into that same kind of category, though, of that the new wave stuff. New wave is a term that a lot of people right now. Mando, did you even know that term existed?
Yeah.
Were you even? No. I have to ask because it's not necessarily something that made it past certain, decade gaps, which makes sense because that was because now you just think of it as them as like a fucking oldies band, like an alt rock oldies band. Now alt rock has absorbed all these other genre titles. I think really. But anyway,
what about
I think that's actually you spin me right round, right round, baby.
Dead or Alive.
Yeah, and Culture Club. That's a big one.
Ooh, they were big. I fucking hated them though. I still hate them. I have no even fond nostalgic value for our Culture Club.
There was a song band
you rock Karma Alien. Come on. That is a great song.
Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates aren't bad. I actually like Hall & Oates.
Yeah, actually,
they're
one of
vastly
theirs-
superior to
Watch out
the new
you
boys in the sink.
New
So
boys in
that's
the sink.
probably a decent place to wrap. Ooh, Bryan Adams. Ugh. My wife likes
Yeah.
Bryan Adams. I have a hard time with Bryan Adams.
Summer
It's just
69.
The bacony smell of Canada.
again, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Canadians. I think anytime we bring Canadians in the mix,
It's like a
aside
knife,
from Gordon Lightfoot, we're really just soiling the waters. So we're gonna have to close out on that though, guys. We only have a couple minutes left here before I get my hard exit and Mrs. of the Empire comes in and starts hitting me with shit. But this was a fun conversation. I like this. The music is one of those topics that like I said, we can start here with the I don't know, whomever, and we end up over here with Mando talking about Dolly Parton. It's because it's not a straight line.
No,
Mando.
wibbly
I can't
wobbly.
help it. I can't help it. I can't not do it.
Scissors.
But like I said, so let's. This was a fun conversation. I think we are going to do another music show in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a little bit of a different theme than this, but we'll get there in a couple of weeks, provided I survive the next couple of weeks. I am very old, and every day is a blessing. So, but before we roll at Smithereens, I love Smithereens. I have their best of as well. Midnight Oil. I like Midnight Oil to a point. They just all start sounding like Midnight Oil, and that guy really creeps me out because he doesn't have the eyebrows or hair, and I find that off-putting.
He reminded me of Freddy
So,
Krueger.
a little, he's a peculiar looking dude. He's really big too. He's just kind of creepy. Anyway. So I want to thank the panel again so much, and thank you to the chat. You guys, a lot of just really great things. Getting at time was a good song. You guys brought a lot of fun stuff. Don Henley, I love Don Henley. Thank you, Boosh.
Yeah.
Another man. Again, we could go on for a very long time, but then I will be divorced, and I'll be doing the show from an alley while selling pencils. It'll be bad. It'll be bad, guys.
Selling pencils like it's the 1970s.
So it won't be good. But let's go around and talk about what we got coming up, and then we will wrap this thing up. So, Shieldwall, what do you have coming up, my friend?
Okay, well, hopefully if Jacob can work out his internet issues, I'll be on his show next Tuesday. And then I can't remember what we're supposed to be reviewing, but it's a really good movie. I know that. And then next Thursday. Sorry, I got all this music stuff stuck in my brain now.
Glenn Fry is the asshole of music.
But anyway, and next Thursday, whatever we're doing on this show.
You've already forgotten.
Yeah, I told you I got too much music going on in my head. But anyway, thanks for having me on. It's a great discussion. Thanks to the chat as always. Learning a lot of stuff. Matt bringing the solid knowledge and his dislike for Vanilla Ice. So
That's Vanilla Ice is on the list.
I don't know if that's his speed force of music, but
Speed Force, fuck Vanilla Ice.
No, that's Milli Vanilli.
Fuck Mark Wade.
Anyway, thanks for having me on. Yep.
Right on, brother. Right on. Joker, what do you got coming up, buddy? Why?
So what I have coming up tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. I have my review dropping of Madam Web. I will save you all some cash. Don't go see it. Don't go see it. Just don't waste your money. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I will be simulcasting Friday Night's Royal Rumble. Dempsey will probably be in the chat there, modding it up. I will not be here next Thursday. Sorry, folks. I will be joining the ladies of Dames and Threats. Beard, stop with that beard. You're making me hot again.
Please don't do that anymore. That's so fucking disturbing.
Yes. So and then, but yeah, thanks for having me. And this was a lot of fun. And if you want me to survive till the end of the show, do not put up another picture of Susanna Hoff because I'll faint again. So
I'm just gonna fall right out. Beard of Liberty. What do you have coming up, sir?
Well, the only thing really off the top of my head at the moment is actually, hang on one second. All right, so
oh my God. That's so
after the weekend, it's the things you find out you can do when you're bored at night.
What happens when you get the link?
After the weekend on Monday, we'll be can't remember Romancing the Stone. Thank you, R2 in the chat. Romancing the Stone. We'll be reviewing that. That'll be another first watch for me, which of course that comes as no shock to anybody who knows me.
You'll have fun with that one.
That's a great film.
Yeah.
You know, if Jacob gets stuff working, I'll probably show up there. We'll find out. So people can follow him or me over on X, and you know, when we know things, we'll let you know.
Right on, right on. Thank you for being with us, Dempsey and Athena.
Yo quiero Taco
What
Bell.
do you got coming up, buddy? You are all over the place. You're everywhere on the interweb. What do you got coming up?
Yes. Well, I'm going to be supporting a lot of people via chat, and you know, I try to do that as much as possible because I believe my time is more valuable than any other kind of support I can give. Plus, I'm broke. But I will be. I am a regular on reality-based music over on Ryan Roger Athay's channel, and we do a show. It's 4 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, we talk about all things music and things of that nature. And it's usually myself and my son, as well as my friend Jim, as regulars on. It's fun. And then we have scissors that we have to do all the time.
I want to die so much.
Once you join the Scissor family, you can't escape it.
It's true.
It's
as I've tried.
These are the bad habits I picked up by being radicalized in your chat, Roman.
That's what did it. Well, thank you so much for being with us. It's nice to have you on this side of the camera, and I'll hit you up. Hopefully, we can do this again in the not terribly distant future.
Cool. Sounds good.
So brace yourself,
right,
Mando?
Why would that? Look, I appreciate that her sheer existence here grates on your nerves and causes you to die a little bit. But show a little respect.
You know I love you.
I'm sorry, my mom's taste in music sucks, man.
I know. Look,
this is what I grew up with.
I know. I forget how young you are. You're basically like an egg with legs. You're so young. So what do you have? What do you have coming up?
Oh God! Oh God!
Whoa!
An egg with legs.
I need somebody
That's
to
a
draw
new
that
one.
with a Mandalorian helmet sitting on top.
Jacob, if you're still in the chat, do it. Or R2, make it happen. Somebody make it happen. Gosh, my schedule for this next week is a little crazy, especially with we're not sure. Not sure with Jacob. For sure I'll be here next week. And just keep an eye out on my socials and stuff, because just my life's been a little bit crazy. Like, what happened? R2, were you not paying attention? Anyway. Yeah, I'll be here next week for sure. And also another way that I very much embarrassed myself on the internet. Last Saturday for our Dungeons and Dragons stream, my character got a tummy ache and pooped in a bag in an alleyway.
That sounds like something that would happen overseas. That's terrible. I'm sorry.
That's an India story.
Set on fire.
That's not good.
No, we didn't set it on fire. But yeah, Inside All Day Gaming, you'll be able to see the clip. Nadia has not stopped talking about it since it happened this past Saturday. And apparently all of the internet now knows about it.
Oh, there you go.
Good to know.
Wow, I'm uncomfortable. Weird. James Harris, the Jinja Ninja. What do you have coming up? That is a fantastic. My God, man.
He's just slashing away.
That is fantastic.
For me, yeah, just chilling out and drawing at the place. I'm not really on much of any stream schedule as of late, but just keep an eye out on the Twitterverse and Instagram and stuff for some reels. And I actually might have a little bit of a surprise with this one today, so be on the lookout for that.
Ooh.
Indeed.
Ooh.
Yeah. But thanks again for having
Amazing.
me on. And just as a sneaky little addition to the whole conversation today, we were speaking a little bit about
What the fuck?
You're going robotic.
Roboting a little bit.
James! James?
Skynet has taken him.
We lost James.
Roman,
Well,
I sent you a
All I
picture.
can say is
Tim's on
domo
Twitter.
arigato.
Uh-oh.
Well,
What was that?
are you back?
Well, those,
Whoopsie.
it's China.
Yeah, you kind of
Yeah,
rolled
oh,
it
yeah.
out.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. All right, thank you.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right. So, Matt, what do you
Sorry.
got coming up, buddy? Good God, James.
He just gave us the cure for cancer, but it's okay.
Right.
That's-
Thank you. Great.
Let's see. I just did videos this week on Masters of the Air Part 4.
I'm
A
watching
Lovecraftian
Part
film called
5
Gods
tonight.
of the Deep, which is it's an average horror film, but a really good Lovecraftian film. And I just dropped Sharp's Honor, which is like the third episode of the second season this morning. So that's a pretty good watch there. Masters of the Air Part 5 comes out tonight, so hopefully we can have that out. Tomorrow I got my Friday Fandemonium show. Whatever we're doing next week, if I'm on it.
Yes, you are on next week.
And at some point, hopefully, you'll tell us what we're doing. You know?
I send out my things for the movies like a couple weeks out so people can schedule it on their calendar, but then they forget.
And that's kind of about it.
Okay, roll right on. Right on. I'm a little disappointed that you didn't know the name of the movie still. That's like the first time that's happened. We're gonna have to start like a merit-based system on the show now. So
I guess I'm
Mando,
screwed.
I'm talking to you, Mando. No, next week on the channel, Thursday, 5 Pacific Standard, we are doing Fight Club.
Okay.
Which is someone didn't want to be here. Someone
Don't
chose
talk
not to
about
be here.
it.
No, we don't talk
Don't
about
talk
it.
about
So,
it. Don't talk about that.
Brad Pitt, Meatloaf, Edward Norton,
What a
that
great
weird looking broad who was married to Tim Burton.
Helena. Bonham Carter.
Bonham Carter.
spoiler.
So,
They all died at
It's
the end of that movie.
shh.
We don't talk about this.
No one died. No one dies.
The bomb.
But it's if you've never seen Fight Club, watch it and then hang out with us next week. And hang out with us next week anyway. And I don't have anything coming up. I'm going to the re-theatering of Dune 1984 on Sunday with Matt the drummer. Just because I already bought the ticket, so I have to go. Even though I've seen it now like fucking 3 times in the last 2 weeks, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, hang out with us next week for Fight Club, and we'll see what's coming up beyond that. But again, thank you to the panel. Thank you to the chat. Try not to fuck this up as I exit tonight. And I probably will, because that's the way I roll over here. But until next time, everyone, be kind.
You